Monday Night Football Last Call. The time is here to prove you are for real. The Giants were riding high. 5 straight wins gone in an unbearable flash. Now, Eli must bounce back from his poorest effort of the year, and one of the NFL's best has to come up big in his Monday night farewell. Jacksonville has taken down legends and conquered champs, but after the season's second loss to Houston, the Jaguars' trademark defense is on call against their old coach tonight on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football? You know I am.
Degree night, but warm inside. Sold out. Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. First time in 9 years the Giants are here as the 5-4 Jaguars take the field. Welcome to Monday Night Football. Mike Tirico, glad you're with us here in North Florida. Tom Coughlin returns to the franchise. He really put on the map a decade or so ago. More on Coughlin in a little bit. But his team 8 days ago was home, hosting Chicago with a chance to become the #1 team in the NFC. You know what happened. They lose to the Bears, and now the Giants, because Dallas beat the Colts yesterday, they have to win this game to remain alone atop the NFC East. Jacksonville, their quarterback to start the season, really their franchise guy, Byron Leftwich, out with ankle surgery. That means David Garrard has to take this team back to the playoffs. And Joe Theismann and Tony Kornheiser, let's start with Garrard. Joe, what does he have to do here tonight to get the Jags a win?
Mike, it's real simple. David Garrard just has to use his athletic ability. That's the difference between he and Byron Leftwich. He can run with the football. He has to make plays with his legs, and he should be able to do that tonight. Also, he's only about a 50% passer, but he's got to utilize that passing percentage to get the ball down the field. You throw 6 deep ones, they catch 3, that's pretty good.
The other side, it's Eli Manning, coming off his worst game of the year. What's his key tonight?
14 for 32, 3 fumbles against the Chicago Bears won't get it done. That's what happened to Eli last week. Eli Manning has to relax. He's fine. There's no emotional problems with him. It's not a confidence issue. He has to get Jeremy Shockey involved in this game. You've heard it all week. Jeremy Shockey is the lightning rod for this football team. If he can get him the football, Mike, early in this game, it changes the energy level of the Giants completely.
Eli's heard it this week a lot in New York. But hey, when you're the #1 overall pick and you play for one of the storied franchises in the NFL, that's just something that comes along with the territory.
Storied franchises, Mike, you mean like dynasties? You want football dynasties? In the 60s, there were the Packers. In the 70s, the Steelers. In the 80s, the 49ers. In the 90s, how about them Cowboys? All the players, all these teams have sent to the Hall of Fame. But the New York Football Giants, there's a real dynasty. Look at how many players they've sent into network broadcasting, starting with Pat Summerall and Frank Gifford. Their sportscasting careers span 40 years. How about Phil Simms? He's the lead analyst for CBS. Michael Strahan has national commercials, and you know there's a chair in some booth waiting for him. Tiki Barber is actually quitting pro football now at the height of his career to go into what? Broadcasting. Everybody wonders which network Tiki will be working for next year. Heck, if he gives ESPN the word tonight, he could be sitting in my seat next week. Life after the NFL, it's on TV. But it's harder to get there if you play your whole career in outposts like Jacksonville or Seattle or Minneapolis. No, the place to be is New York City. Show up at the end of your career and slide into a network chair like Boomer Esiason did. And he wasn't even on the Giants. He was a Jet. The road to Canton may wind through Green Bay and Pittsburgh, but the road to television goes through the intersection of Mara and Tisch.
Yeah, the families that have owned the Giants and still do, and the families that brought Tom Coughlin in after he was fired here in Jacksonville. And for the first time since, Tom Coughlin comes back into this stadium. What kind of emotions? We'll check in with Susie Colbert on the sideline when you come back to Jacks.
It's kind of a funny feeling, even driving down 95, just the familiarity of it. He said it was odd to be in the visitors' locker room and that being on the other sideline is a big deal. He's proud that 13 of his players are still first string. And he smiled when he said, someone did all right selecting personnel. And Jack Del Rio agrees. He told us how Coughlin left a very strong work ethic, a blue-collar culture that Jack embraced and built on, adding, we may have contrasting coaching styles, but we share a common belief in discipline and toughness. Mike, a special night.
It certainly is, Susie. We'll chronicle it with Skycam, presented by IBM, giving us a special look at all the action tonight. Special guest joining us tonight, Tiki's twin brother Rondé joins us in the booth, and megastar Jay-Z. All that and kickoff next.
Fly and wait, a moonlight rumble in the Sunshine State. An NFL tradition, every man right. The ultimate gig comes on Monday night. Come on, get it. You better get it. Are you ready? Are you ready for the football? A Monday night party. The stage is set. Let's get it kick-started. Get your game face on. Let's try to sight. All my rowdy friends are here for Monday night.
And our second visit to Alltel Stadium here in Jacksonville. Very cool night with our temperature in the 40s. The story in the NFC East, by virtue of the Dallas win, Giants must win here tonight to remain alone atop the Eastern Division. Meantime, in the AFC, starting to take shape right around Thanksgiving, the playoff picture. Denver and Kansas City meet on Thanksgiving night. They are ahead of Jacksonville for the moment. Jaguars need to win this to keep pace with Kansas City. Before we go any further, hello to our colleague Michelle Tafoya, who's down here with us in Jacksonville, but under the weather. So Michelle, we sent you our best. We're sorry you're not with us, pal, and look forward to you joining us in Seattle next week. There's Jack Del Rio, the head coach of the Jaguars, in the jacket and tie.
He's wearing a great jacket tie. We'll get into that later in the game. The suits so far this year are 1-0, with Mike Nolan winning the other day.
Jay Feely kicks off. We go from Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew, the rookie out of UCLA, spills at the 32 by Brandon Jacobs, the Giants running back. So here comes David Garrard with Byron Leftwich off to Alabama for surgery on his ankle tomorrow. It is Garrard out of East Carolina, who's actually been here a year longer than Leftwich, becoming the starting quarterback that has to get him back to the playoffs. 12th start. He's 7-4 overall this year, 2-1 as a starter, and his field position will not be as good as it looked at the start because of a kickoff penalty.
During the return, the illegal block in the back. Number 24, return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Tom Montel Owens and Ron Winter will be the referee here tonight. There is Jack Del Rio. Tony in that suit.
Natalie attired.
It's stretchier than you think. It's made by Reebok, and it's got snaps instead of buttons. He may just whip the thing off like a warm-up suit later in the game. Snaps.
Mike Nolan, the San Francisco coach, wearing it yesterday. Wanted to honor his dad, Dick, and once the league gave permission, Del Rio said, hey, I'll do that if I can. So he is. First carry of the night, Fred Taylor. The veteran gains 2 yards, tackled by Will Demps. The man just tackled, Taylor, introduces us to the other 10 Jacksonville starters.
Starting up front with the O-line. Without them, there's no me. At center, Big Brad Meester. And next to him, Chris Naoli. At right tackle, we have Big Mo Williams. And at quarterback tonight is David, the difference, Garrard. Behind him is me, Freddie T. And over at receiver, Big Reggie Williams and Matt Jones.
Guys who need to hold on to the ball. The drops by the Jacksonville receivers, the big story this week down here. Second carry, Taylor, right through the middle of the Giants line. 3rd and 3 coming up. Richie Torbor made the tackle. Antonio Pierce, the starting middle backer, introduces us to the Giants D.
Now we got up our D-line. The guys in front of me take care of me. We got Willie, Fast Foot, Joseph, Matthias, Kiwanuka. I'm the greatest of all time. Next to me at linebackers, we got Carlos. I'm too smooth, Emmons. And in the secondary, we got R.W. McQuarters. Look at the best of all time. And Will Demps, Pretty Ricky.
I wonder what your nickname is going to be, Mike.
Pretty Ricky.
It ain't pretty. 3rd and 3. Garrard out of the gun. Kyle Brady, the former Jet in motion. Bad snap. Actually through the hands of Garrard, who has to fall on it and does at the 1. A hair high, but Garrard had it go right through his hands, and it will force a punt.
You just don't expect it this high. I mean, you're looking at the defense, you're looking around, all of a sudden, it does squeeze through his hands. It's a play he should be able to make. Thankfully, he was able to fall on it, and now the Jags are going to have to punt from as far back as you can get.
Don't have the 15 yards from the deep snap from Zelenka to the punter, Chris Hansen, who's been bothered by a hamstring injury.
And he has to be careful he doesn't take a step backwards.
Giants out of the gate should get good field position. Hansen on this cool night, only a 38-yard kick, fielded by Chad Morton. And the Giants will take over inside the Jacksonville 30. So what an opportunity for Eli Manning, and what a chance to erase the 8 days of conversation about the struggle against the Bears and the 4th worst quarterback rating in his career at 28.3. He also did not handle the ball well. Once his left tackle went out, Luke Pettigrew, a couple of fumbles caused on sacks. Jacksonville's defense has been fabulous at home. This is a defensive-minded fan base, too. When their team's on D, they know they can come up with big stops, and they are put to the test out of the gate tonight. Manning adjusting the play at the start. To Barber. Gain of 2. Here's Tiki to introduce us to the rest of the Giants offense.
At our left tackle is the old man, Bob Whitfield, and all his tricks. And anchoring in the middle, Sean O'Hara, who's reeling after Rutgers' loss. Moving on to the skill positions, our consummate leader, Elijah Manning. My fullback, who leads the way, Jim Finn. And then our red zone heroes, Plaxico Burress and Jeremy Shockey.
And remember, no Amani Toomer out for the year with a knee injury. Tim Carter getting the start tonight. Carter at the bottom of the screen. Marcus Stroud jumping in there saying there was motion.
Encroachment. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
John Henderson, the other defensive tackle with the Jaguars D.
Hold it down the middle, 3-time Pro Bowler number 99, Marcus Stroud, and end number 93, Octane Bobby McCray. Holding down that linebacker, number 52, Darrell Smith, the headhunter. Holding the secondary down, number 27, Rasheem Mathis, the takeaway kid. Number 37, Deion Grant, the specialist. And we also can't forget number 20, Donovan Darrian, the headhunter.
Incomplete pass intended for Barber is going to bring up 3rd and 3.
I can tell you on that particular pass play by Eli Manning, he just looked a little too nonchalant trying to swing the ball out to the flat. He has to move with a little more discipline. He drops back and just, I mean, that's a bad throw. That's not what you're looking for to start a football game.
Manning, 3rd and 3, looking at Burress, going for Plex. Incomplete. Tight coverage by Brian Williams with safety help from Deion Grant. Field goal attempt coming.
You know that Eli Manning, on 3rd down passing, is the 31st rated quarterback in the league. That's next to last, and you saw it just there. I mean, 3rd down for a guy as good as Manning has been, he's terrible at converting 3rd downs.
What happened when Jeremy Shockey isn't a part of the offense?
So Jay Feely will come on to try the 40-yard field goal attempt. And Feely bangs it through, so the Jacksonville Jaguar defense put to the test with a drive starting inside the 30, allows the Giants an opening drive field goal. 3-0 Big Blue. Field goal drive out of the fabulous field position. Not the start the Giants want, but still they get on the board 3-0, and no passes thrown at Jeremy Shockey in that opening drive.
He looks happy, doesn't he? He looks content.
He doesn't understand.
Big night for him so far.
I don't understand it.
Feely kicks off again. And one more time, it's Maurice Jones-Drew. Taken down at the 27-yard line. So the Giants cover it well with linebacker Chase Blackburn. Jacksonville's offense back on the field after this. Used to call Jacksonville home and says he will retire here. He put down wonderful roots and laid the seeds for such a great franchise start. Hired a year and a half before they played their first game, and in those 8 seasons here, 5 times to the playoffs, twice to the conference championship game. First time back in the building, as Susie told you at the start, here tonight. And the quarterback he drafted, David Garrard, throws the screen to Fred Taylor. Only gets a yard or so. Barry Cofield off the defensive line made the stop. So, Joe, what do you like about Garrard?
I like his athletic ability. I like watching him in practice throw the football. I've seen him do it over the last couple of years, really since he's been here. And I like his ability. He's hard to bring down. He stands tall in the pocket. He can create some space with his legs and make plays. What he needs to do is get his receivers to cooperate by holding on to the football when he puts it in their hands.
Second and 8, draw with Taylor. Set up about 3rd and 4.5. If you're not familiar with David Garrard, let's just take you back through his path here to the NFL. Very good, especially early on in his career at East Carolina. Showed a great ability to throw the deep ball there. 4th-round pick in the last draft that Coughlin had here in 2002. 5th quarterback taken in that draft. Actually had to start his rookie year when they thought he's going to be the guy to succeed Mark Brunell. Then the change, and the rest of his starts have come via left twitch injuries.
That's what Garrard thought, because Coughlin told him, you're going to be special. So he expected to succeed Brunell, and then was stunned when Del Rio came in and drafted Byron Leftwich with his first pick.
3rd and 4. Giants bring pressure with McQuarters. Get to Garrard, but the throw is held on to, and the fans are thrilled. They're very happy to see Ernest Wilford or any receiver hold on.
When I had a chance to talk to Steve Walter, the wide receiver coach down on the field, and as we were walking around on the field, he said, I expect my guys to step up big tonight. They were embarrassed all week and really taken to task with their coaches. This is not an easy catch. He has to reach back to make the play. Garrard stands in tall, reaches back, catches it, tucks it, and believe me, he's hanging on to that baby for life.
A nice job by the rookie Maurice Jones-Drew picking up McQuarters, who was coming in with the pressure from the secondary. 1st and 10 from the 49. Garrard puts air under it. Held on to by Reister, the tight end. George Reister out of Oregon, having the best of his 4 NFL seasons. 8-23.
What we've seen out of David Garrard are 2 different styles of passes. We've seen him step up in the pocket and put a lot of zip on the ball, like Byron Leftwich is capable of doing. And now we've seen him put some touch on the crossing pattern. George Reister is going to come from up inside on the left and go to the corner. Nice little touch over the linebacker, underneath the safety in the corner.
Just got rid of it before the hit by Matthias Kiwanuka, the rookie who's in there helping replace Michael Strahan and O.C. Umanura, the 2 excellent starting defensive ends still out with injury. 1st down, 3rd straight throw. This one a deep ball. Incomplete. Just through the arms of the diving Reister.
Another nice, I mean, he's got him beat big time. This is a matchup. You get a tight end, goes right through George's hand.
Antonio Pearson covers.
Is the mistake on the receiver, or was he led too much in that case, Joe?
I don't think he was led too much, Tony. That goes right through his hands. It wasn't like it was off his fingertips.
Diving for
he
it.
just never closed them. Yeah. Tough catch.
On target
but
pass?
makeable. On target, possibly. Have to check with the rules on that one. I think so.
2nd and 10 after the throws to the ground with Taylor, impeded by his own man. Gains about 3.5. Susie Colvin.
Well, Mike, you mentioned how the drops have just plagued this receiving corps. Jack Del Rio called on assistant head coach Mike Tice to spend extra time this week with the receivers. They were put through what they call distraction drills, having to make catches in traffic while getting bumped and harassed. The goal to improve concentration, but Reggie Williams also pointed out that Garrard moves around a lot more than Byron Leftwich, and the receivers have to stay alive a lot longer and adjust to an unexpected launch point.
I think that's a crock of baloney, Suze. I think if you're a receiver, you catch the football, and when it comes out of the quarterback hands and it's in the air, it's your ball.
3rd and 5. Giants bring 4. Garrard steps up, throws. It is incomplete. It was on the hands of Wilford. He was double covered, bounced around, hits the ground. Field goal attempt coming.
Just for the public record, Joe, all of us know you say that because you were a quarterback.
Yeah.
And if you put it anywhere near a receiver, you expected it to be caught.
Right, you do. I mean, but you look at that from Garrard, 23% of the passes have been dropped from Leftwich, 9. They've played more with Leftwich. Now, this is obviously the highest point in the NFL through 10 weeks. The velocity on the ball is different, but not that much. You're a receiver. You get paid to catch the football, no matter where it's coming from or who it's coming from.
39-yarder. Josh Scobie, who's made his last 11, hooks that one in to make it an even dozen and square the game halfway through the first. Nice drive down the field for Jacksonville. Almost 7, but Reister just couldn't bring it in. 3-3. David Garrard leads a field goal drive, and just asking George Reister, were we close down there?
Yeah, he wanted to. That was going to be for Damian, his son, back in L.A. I mean, that was going to be for him, and he let it slip right through his hands. He wanted one
You're
for the
quarterback. You believe that everything that's thrown up by you should be caught, or all quarterbacks. You're a quarterback.
Yes.
You never threw a bad pass.
Short kick, fielded by Derek Ward, brought down nicely by Brian Williams, the corner. Giants take over at their own 27-yard line. The top pick of the draft in 2004 out of Ole Miss, Eli Manning, takes the field with the game out. Markets, but it's one of the bigger atmospheres when you come in for a primetime game. Fans excited about their Jaguars, who sit here tonight at 5-4. After losing at home to the Texans by 3 last week. Giants, of course, coming off the loss to Chicago by 18 8 nights ago. Toss to Tiki, who hurt his thumb in that game. No ill effects seen thus far. Penalty marker down after a gain of a yard, and a Donovan Darius tackle.
Holding. Offense number 80. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
On Jeremy Shockey. Guys, the Chicago loss. Tom Coughlin's heard about it. We've all heard about it for a week. Joe, this missed field goal by Jay Feely returned an NFL record 108 yards by Devin Hester.
And it looked like they were ready to do it because they'd lined up a lot of their guys on the right side. This is towards the bench. And you look at all the guys that are in position. So many Giants out of position. One good block, 2 good blocks. At the 35-yard line, it's clear sailing all the way for Devin Hester.
1st and 20 after the holding flag. Manning screens it to Barber. What a terrific block by Sean O'Hara to give Barber room to gain a dozen yards on that one. After that play, things just started to spiral down where the Giants couldn't come back. Lost 38-20. Coughlin knew he was going to get questioned about it. We have a Jaguar player shaken up. Tony, Coughlin really took it head on and face on in the New York media.
Here he did. He got crushed, and what he said repeatedly was my call and no one else's. And everybody in New York tried to basically say the reason you went for that field goal was Eli Manning was having a bad day. You didn't trust your quarterback. You went for points needlessly. You put your team in jeopardy. And to each salvo, he said the same thing: my call and nobody else's. There was no ambiguity in that whatsoever. And I think on some level that earns respect for Coughlin.
I agree with you. The injured player is Donovan Darius. As they look at Donovan, will step out for a minute. Awful sight here. The guy who started the most defensive games in Jacksonville Jaguar history, Donovan Darius, injuring his right leg. Joe, not a pretty one here. Vasante Shenko coming in, the tight end, backup tight end, and gets Darius there on the legs. Well away from the play. Barber runs up the middle, going to be a yard shy of the first down. We'll have third down coming up. And the Jaguars, as a team, and Darius individually, not very happy at all, with some words toward the Giants as he came off the field.
It almost looked like it was from behind or the far side. That's a tough one for an official to call because they're so far away from the action, and you can't quite tell the angle. But one thing I do know right now, as a member of that defensive unit, you're going to hit a little bit harder and make them pay a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball.
That's a huge loss. He is such a leader. Replaced by Gerald Sensabaugh, second-year man. 3rd and 1. They go Brandon Jacobs and the big back, who's so good usually on third down. Cannot get it done here. Marcus Stroud, who's missed 5 games with an ankle injury, joins Clint Ingram to make it 4th down.
I'm waiting for Jack Del Rio to rip that jacket off. He can't get as animated as he's been. He just can't.
Yeah, he can. It snaps. There aren't even any buttons.
But he has to get used to it.
He can just knock the snaps away like he's going into a basketball game and just end up naked at that point. That would be a mistake on his part, I'm sure.
Guys, Jacobs was the best in the NFL on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. 9 out of 10 successful conversions. Stopped there by the good Jacksonville defense, and the ageless Jeff Fiegels, 40 years old, punts it. Return Alvin Pierman, shown the sideline at the 38, and a penalty marker comes down, and there's a little angst that's been added to this game after that hit on Donovan Darius a couple of plays ago. Kick 39, return 12, but obviously we'll check the flag.
During the return, illegal blocking it back. Number 51 on the return team, a 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's Clint Ingram who had the hit on that last play. See the pain and the frustration as the defensive leader. The guy who started the most games in Jaguars defensive history is hurt. Jaguars take over from their own 27. Field goal on their second drive, 3 and out on their opening drive. Taylor runs it to the 30. Antonio Pierce made the tackle. Boy, to have Giants who are healthy on defense is a good sign. Look at all these guys out. The top 2, really the top 3 defensive ends. Strahan and Humanier are the starters, and Tuck with the foot out for the year. We saw guys, LeVar Arrington with the Achilles injury in Dallas. Brandon Short missing again tonight, and Sam Madison, the recurring hamstring. So a half-dozen would-be starters for the Giants, missing on the defensive side. Taylor gains 5. It'll be 3rd and 2 coming up.
Fred Taylor is not happy. Fred Taylor expressed his opinions about not being happy because his contract is incentive-laden, and he hasn't been getting the touches to get to the incentives that kick into bonuses for him. Now, he spoke his piece, said it a few weeks ago, and it's off his chest. When we sat with him on Saturday, he said, look, I spoke my piece. I said what I wanted to say. I'm the leader of this football team. That's behind me now. The frustration built up. I let it out. He's the guy that will carry this offense because they're so young every place else.
As often in these third down situations, Taylor comes out. Maurice Jones-Drew, the rookie, comes in, takes the 3rd and 2 toss, and delivers the blow for the first down and gets to the 42. And hey, that's part of the reason Taylor's not seeing 20, 25 carries. This guy who that they brought in is pretty good.
The guy is a human bowling ball. Is he listed at 5'7"?
Yeah, 5'8".
Yeah, but I mean, what Del Rio has always said is, I want big, strong football players, and he takes that guy. That guy's his power back. That guy, he could get lost behind 2 offensive tackles.
But when you look at his legs, they qualify as big and powerful.
But you're right. The small guy, the 5'7" guy, he becomes the power
That's
back.
right.
And Taylor, the more physically imposing one, he gives you the home run speed. First down throw is caught by Reggie Williams to the 47-yard line. And here's Susie Colbert.
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew is living the dream. His favorite running back as a kid, Fred Taylor. And when he played Madden football, he was Taylor. Now he's learning from him. In fact, Maurice marvels at how accepting Taylor has been. And he said it's like having 2 running back coaches. And Jack Del Rio told us the relationship works because Maurice is so respectful. So instead of it being awkward, they have a great 1-2 punch. And by the way, Taylor also loves a Madden game, and he beats the kid.
If you really respect me, don't beat me in video games, right? They use both of them on the field at the same time there, and Taylor crawls right out to the first down. Hey, let me just update one injury. Donovan Darius, the right ankle is sprained at worst. They're going to check, or at best, excuse me, they're going to take x-rays now, but he's out for the remainder of the game with the ankle injury.
Carl Smith has decided, the offensive coordinator of the Jaguars, to ride his horse, Fred Taylor. They get into 3rd and short, or they're just running the football 1st and 2nd down. You keep the Giants out because they're so depleted in their defensive line. You keep them on the field a long time, they're going to wear down.
Maybe what happened to them against Chicago as that second half went on.
Yeah. Second half, yep.
3rd and very, very short. And they'll just use Garrard's 6'1", 240-ish.
46, he said.
246.
That's the accurate one. Yep.
Joe weighing people in before Thanksgiving.
Checking it out. He said 260. He got mad at me.
First down.
So 246. Very thick through the hips.
As they have a pretty good drive here going. Let me get back to something with Garrard. When he was the quarterback here and thought he would inherit the job, when Del Rio came in and drafted Leftwich, he and his wife, Garrard and his wife, were driving in the car. They had to pull over to the side of the road. They were devastated by the news on the radio that Leftwich was coming in to be the quarterback.
It was a bizarre story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
3-yard quarterback sneak, gets first down, high throw through the hands of Reggie Williams, and incomplete. If you remember that draft, the Vikings were on the clock, and the Vikings were supposed to select, and their time ran out.
Didn't get a pick.
Yeah, so Jacksonville was ready and got the card up to the podium very quickly and took Leftwich. And that is, can you imagine that? You're driving down the road, we're going to be the quarterback of the future. Life's good. Whoa!
That's what he said. He said we had to pull over. We were definitely shocked.
Well, Tom Coughlin liked him. Jack Del Rio didn't know anything about him. And he hadn't played it all, so he figured, well, Jack's got to figure, I have to go get myself a quarterback.
But what a way to get the news. You're in your car and you find that out. Oh, I thought I had that job. I guess not.
But
he's got it now.
And a chance to prove himself. 2nd and 10, dropped by Reggie Williams, and that goes back to the drop story. And that's got to be a little bit in their minds, the first catchable one they put on the ground.
Okay, they're booing him especially because in the last 5 games, in the last 4 games, he has only 3 catches. And he also got in an incident last week here in this stadium where he was apparently and reportedly cursing at some fans who were booing him and saying things. And Ernest Wilford had to grab him and basically take him away from the stands. So he is not the most popular guy in the house.
This wide receiving corps and the Jaguars miss Jimmy Smith so much. His experience, his leadership, and all the things that he could provide to this young wide receiver corps. Miss him terribly.
After Williams' 9th drop, 3rd and 10, Garrard plastered as he puts it up long, and it's incomplete. Good job by Wilford to become a defensive back and knock it away. Fred Robbins was the one waiting to hit the quarterback.
Let me get to one thing about these wide receivers. Reggie Williams was a #1 pick. All right, 3 catches in the last 4 games. Matt Jones, a #1 pick, 2 drops last week, 6 catches in the last 3 games. The most recent #1 pick, a tight end, Mercedes Lewis, 5 catches all season. That's 3 receivers in a row as your #1 pick, and you're getting, as we like to say, squadouche out of them.
Your best receiver is Ernest Wilford, who we saw making a play on that ball. He's a 4th-round pick.
Chris Hansen, good at pinning the opponents inside the 20. Not his best effort there, and Morton returns it to the 20-yard line. Tiki Barber comes back on the field. His final Monday night game. Tiki remembers a big one from '99 in my Monday night.
I think it was a little bit of a coming out party for me. I did have a whole bunch of all-purpose yards, and I think I showed my versatility as a player, as a special teams guy, as a runner, and as a receiver. And given that it was on Monday night, to have a great day on that day is special, and it's lasting.
Memorable victory over the Cowboys, and that was the last year that we saw Tiki primarily used as a third down back. Much more of a role in 2000, and then it's just taken off here the last 5+ outstanding seasons that has brought Barber to the elite in the league. It's play action here. Eli's so good on play action to Plex Burris, who puts it on the ground. The ruling on the field is a fumble picked up by Clint Ingram of the Jags and taken to the 22-yard line. Burris says he was down. There was no immediate whistle that he was down.
Tom Coughlin isn't happy that he's going to have to make a decision on a challenge. Now he's talking to his coaches upstairs, the people that will review it. We'll take a look at it. He's got the ball. He's going to the ground. His knee is down. The ball comes out. This should either be an incompletion or a catch.
And there's an officials conference here right now, so Coughlin has not yet to have to challenge as his assistants upstairs get a look at this replay that's not being shown in the stadium.
I would say they're going to call it incomplete.
Incomplete. When you say incomplete or a catch, you would mean a catch but not a fumble catch. Correct. And down.
He would not, it would not result as a fumble. He gets up in the air, and you see him, the ball comes squirting out before he has a chance to do anything athletically or make a football move.
Rolling on the field is a reception and a fumble.
And Coughlin, red flag in hand, now
wow,
holds it out. I don't know if he's going to throw it or use it as a chat prop.
He says, look, he's waving it. Come over here, please. If you wave it, they have to come over and talk to you.
Is that how it works?
I guess. If you throw it, they come over and talk later.
For a bullfight for later
now it's
on?
official.
Okay.
It looks like his bottom's on the ground, his legs on the ground, his thighs on the ground long before the ball comes out.
Well, 3 body parts on the ground.
He catches it.
So.
Now, the knee is on the ground.
The ruling on the field, but the ball was a fumble.
The knee is on the ground, and now the ball starts squirting out. From that angle, you can't tell whether he has possession or not. His back is completely blocking it.
But you've got it definitely not a fumble.
I didn't believe it was a fumble. I didn't feel like he made an athletic move to have possession.
As Ron Winter heads under the hood, the guy who made the hit, whether it's an incompletion, but that's Gerald Sensabaugh, and he's the one who came in for the injured Donovan Darius. So he's going to be very important in the game here tonight, and he lays a lick on Plex Burris. Here, a couple more peeks for you.
There's the other side. Now, this is the side. Now, he's down. There's no question the knee is on the ground. He has control, and as he goes to the ground, the ball squirts out. I would think that if they're ruling it a catch, which they did because they called it a fumble, he should be down now when his knee hits the ground and then the ball comes out. As I look at that, I would say it's a catch and his knee is down and then the ball comes out in that kind of a sequence.
So as Ron Winter looks, let me remind you why every play, every call, so important here for the Giants, who were setting their sights on Chicago and maybe home field through the playoffs just eight nights ago, and then you lose to the Bears. You watch the Cowboys hand the Colts their first loss, and
that's
now.
it. It looked like they would have a breather here because a lot of other playoff-type teams in the NFC were losing yesterday, including in their own division, Philadelphia, which lost Donovan McNabb for the rest of the season. But when the Cowboys beat the Colts, suddenly the Giants felt the hot breath of Bill Parcells and the Cowboys on their necks, and maybe they need to win this game. And yesterday, Tiki Barber said if we can just stem the tide, we can look big picture. We don't have to look at this next game. But that was before the Cowboys won.
And you know Dallas has Tampa Bay, obviously, in the Thanksgiving game on Thursday. And then after that, they have that stretch where the Cowboys always come out of that long 10-day post-Thanksgiving Day break really, really ready to play.
After they get that good sleep eating the turkey early, then
They're like bears who have hibernated and they're ready to go.
They're still the second or third best team in the NFC. They really are.
The Giants or the Cowboys?
The Giants. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can go one or two, Giants and or Cowboys. Chicago won, and then you go Giants or Cowboys. Yes, Seattle got beat by San Francisco. They're in for 262 yards against Seattle yesterday. San Francisco did. So you wonder about Seattle away from home. Can they play? So the Giants, to me, they're playing with a lot of people hurt.
You know what's interesting about that? When you get to this point in the season, it's okay to do scoreboard watching. It's okay to, in the fourth and fifth game, nobody ever says that. Yeah. You get to games 9, 10, and 11, and you measure yourself against the teams that you're in the running with for the playoffs, and you talk about it out loud.
Right.
I mean, nobody says, let's just concentrate on the game in front of us, because you got to look bigger than that.
Jack Del Rio talked about it to his football team. Now it looks like, after the loss to Houston last week, looks like we're playing for a spot in a wild card. Basically conceding to Indianapolis. Looks like they're going to win the division.
If Jacksonville loses tonight, the Colts can clinch the AFC South as early as next Sunday.
Yeah. And if Jacksonville were to lose tonight and the playoffs started tomorrow, they would be out of the playoffs. They'd be tied for 7th position in the AFC.
Tells you how big this game is for both teams.
So Ron Winter has gone over, had the full look under the hood, and now we wait to find out
when it takes this long, I'm feeling that he's going to look for the mark where Plexico was down.
Because he's no longer looking in the hood. He's speaking.
See, his knee is down without question right now. Then the ball comes out. It should be a catch at that spot.
If they call it a catch on the field, can they reverse it and make it a no catch, or do they have to go catch or catch fumble?
When you review, my understanding is when you review a replay, one thing specifically is looked at. If something else comes up in the replay, you can rule it that way.
Okay.
So, yes.
Well, he's speaking with John Parry, the side judge. His dad's Dave Parry, who's done such a great job coordinating college football officials around the country for years. And obviously, when you have the pen and paper out, you're getting specifics of time and yard line and reset. So you would think playing sleuth, amateur sleuth.
College officials seem to have been under a bit of fire this year. The officiating in general.
They're getting used to their replay system. They did a great job Michigan Ohio State game.
That's true.
Fabulous.
After review, the pass is incomplete. It makes it second down. Please reset the game clock to 47 seconds. The Giants are not charged with a timeout.
That's what I thought it was going to be initially, and you can see now that even though the challenge was that of a fumble, there was something else that they noticed. So when they
that overrides.
It overrides.
Okay.
So the Giants, most important thing, they retain possession. They do lose a challenge and only have one remaining as the game goes on. It is 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line.
But it doesn't change how mad Tom Coughlin is at Plexico Burress right now for putting that ball on the ground.
Barber is the back. And gets about 2 yards. Could not get Chris Snee to lay the blocks out for him. We mentioned Tiki's twin brother Rondé is going to be in the booth here in the second quarter. Remember all the stories about how much of a distraction is Tiki's announcement of retirement going to be? I don't think it's been any sort of an announcement. He approaches 1,000 yards here tonight.
It's been absolutely no distraction. He leads the team in rushing as he always does. He said the only thing that his fellow players commented was, "Can I have your locker?"
They want to be able to have a space.
3 carries, 10 yards for Barber in the first quarter. Giants looking to grab a first down for the first time tonight. 3rd and 8. Pressure comes. It's picked up nicely. And Manning's pass is incomplete as Burress in a similar spot couldn't hang on again. Ooh, this Jacksonville defense is good. 10 Giant plays, 22 yards, and 3-3 after 1. Here from Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, Jaguars and Giants tied at 3. We go back to the end of the first quarter here, Joe.
Right there. That's where Eli should be throwing the football. Plexo's coming in from the right side. This ball is thrown back behind him. He would run into the open space, and you see him have to make a play back on the ball, which allows the defender to come in, Rasheed Mathis, and knock the ball out of his hand. Eli does not look very accurate tonight yet. He seems to be setting fine in the pocket.
Hasn't been accurate in the last 5 games.
Well, he's keeping it up tonight.
Jeff Fiegel set to punt here to start the quarter with Alvin Pearman back deep to receive. And the guy's punted for over 61,000 yards in his NFL career. Not a bunch of yards there, and fair caught by Pearman. Thus, good field position for the Jaguars at the 43-yard line. And, Joe, this continues to trend. Guys, we talked about Eli. Can you get off to a good start in the first quarter once again?
He has a look on his face of disgust. 1 for 5. That's his completion.
Here's where he was early in the year, 65.3%, and all the stories were Eli Manning finally is becoming the quarterback the Giants hoped he would be when they spent the #1 draft pick overall on him. Last 5 games, he is a 50% passer, and that's not good enough. And Jeremy Shockey hasn't seen the ball yet, and you can see how happy he is.
The most yards he's thrown for is 189 yards in 5 games.
Another former New York tight end, Kyle Brady, lines up as the fullback to lead Taylor. Fred runs into Antonio Pierce, gains 3 yards. I mentioned that Eli heard some heat this week in New York, and this was part of it, because Phillip Rivers is off to the awesome start. Thank you very much, LaDainian Tomlinson and defense and company. But now people are going to start to go back. They've seen Rivers and say, well, should the Giants maybe have done something else in the draft? Remember the big trade that wasn't just Rivers, but other players, including Sean Merriman and the kicker Nate Kading as well.
I don't have a problem
time
with
to
the
get
deal.
into it now, right? After this play.
I don't have a problem with the deal. You don't? No, not at all.
You didn't make it.
I know. That's why I don't have a problem with it.
2nd and 7, play action leftwich. Long was covered, comes back middle, or rather Garrard completes it to the first down mark for Ernest Wilford at the 37-yard line.
Ernest Wilford is the 4th-round pick. Matt Jones and Reggie Williams are the 1st-round picks. He has become the most reliable. The thing is he only has 3 years. He doesn't have that kind of seniority that Jimmy Smith had. Does a real nice job driving off, catching the ball, goes up. That's a nice job. To me, that's the way big receivers catch the ball best, facing the quarterback. Running on the move, running away from people, more difficult for him.
After the gain of 17, first down run. Taylor, he'll gain about 3 yards. SportsCenter 30-30 update, and here's Bill Pito.
All right, Mike, the Phil's Ryan Howard is the National League's MVP. The Rookie of the Year last year, Howard led the majors in homers and RBIs, beat out Albert Pujols by 41 points. Brett Favre has started 251 straight games, and his injured right elbow is not expected to keep him out of next Monday night's game against Seattle. Backup quarterback Aaron Rodgers broke his foot yesterday. He's done for the season. Next SportsCenter after Monday Night Football.
All right, Billy. Tony was looking forward to all the Ingle Martin information that we have next week.
Confirming.
Save it, Joe. You might need it.
Own it up. I'm going to figure out what street he lives on.
2nd and 7. Taylor to the 30-yard line. Let's not get too far away from the conversation we brought up. The Eli Manning story that's been around all week, now with Rivers playing so well.
I think it's easy to be revisionist now because Rivers in his first year with a real good team is doing very well. What the Giants needed a quarterback. Eli Manning made it clear he wanted to go there. When you're in New York City, you want a big-name guy with a pedigree. 100 times out of 100, the Giants would have taken Eli Manning with the chance. Archie Manning's son, Peyton Manning's little brother, made all the sense in the world then. Because Manning's had 4 or 5 bad games, and Rivers has done well, people are jumping ship on that, saying it's the Brinks job. I don't think it's the wrong move.
3rd and 3 for Garrard. With time underneath, caught by Wilford. Good job to break the would-be tackle and keep the drive alive with a first down.
Let me get to one other thing that you said, Joe, about the size of the receivers for Jacksonville. They look great in an airport. They look like a basketball team. But I know you believe that if everybody's the same size, either big or small, it doesn't work, and you prefer smaller receivers.
I like at least one small receiver to be able to get separation. It's very difficult for big receivers to get separation from press corners. There's just too much of them to get hands on. Little guys give you a little bit broader, a better picture, a more visual opportunity to throw the ball places.
Play action, Garrard, Wilford. Again, first down inside the 10, and he is stepping up tonight.
Even though Randy Newman says short people got no reason to live, you still like to throw.
I like short people.
Good for you.
I think they do. David Garrard, nice job. This is what he does different than Byron Leftwich. He can challenge the corners. Wilford, good job. Watch, he's now facing the quarterback, coming back to the quarterback. Those are the way that these receivers will be able to gain some confidence catching the ball.
Giants opponent in the red zone. That's been like money in the bank in the last few games. Taylor is stopped by Will Dents, the safety who came over from Baltimore. Reggie Torbor there as well.
I will say this, Mike, and this is, again, the red zone, this is where you like big receivers.
Okay.
This is where you want to go.
Here's where you like receivers on the other team instead of the Giants team, because they are 32nd in red zone defense to this point. That would put them, I believe, behind Oakland and everybody else.
11 out of 13 trips, they've gotten touchdowns.
The last 13. And those two we saw on the Monday night game in Dallas when Bledsoe and Romo combined to give it up. One going back the other way. Second and goal, even though they're at the 10. Here is Taylor pounding to the end zone. Jacksonville touchdown. That would be 12 of the last 14 in the red zone.
And I like the way Carl Smith, their offensive coordinator, called these plays. He got David Garrard in the pocket. He got him outside. He ran Fred Taylor inside. Big job up front. Nice job by the guys up front. Excellent job by their guards and centers. Brad Meester anchoring down the middle. Chris Nioli. Vince Manawai. Good job.
Gobi adds the extra a point. The underappreciated Fred Taylor, who's never been to the Pro Bowl, takes Jacksonville on top 10-3. Good drive for David Garrard and the Jags.
There's a great image. There's Canon Image Anywhere.
Tonight, Terrio coverage from Jacksonville brought to you by Goodyear. Here on the shores of the St. Johns River, downtown Jacksonville, just a quick walk away from Alltel Stadium, and the Jaguars lead 10-3.
30-minute drive from the TPC.
Yes.
Beautiful Sawgrass Golf Course.
Did you get free golf today? Is that what you're saying?
No, you did. I didn't.
Not today.
Yesterday.
Joe is free golf, period. Scobie through the back. He's fourth best in the NFL in touchbacks, adding to it with that kickoff there. So Tiki Barber will take the field. We mentioned his twin brother, Rondé, the star corner for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those guys went head-to-head a couple of weeks ago, and Rondé is going to join us in the booth as we continue. Ernest Wilford's had 4 catches in the game, and the Giants' offense has been stuck in neutral. 10 plays tonight, 22 yards. They've only had the ball 4.5 minutes. Trail by 7. First down throw for Eli Manning to Shockey. Didn't hang on. Incomplete. Second down coming up. Well, yesterday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a much-needed win. 3rd win on the season. Rondé Barber and the defense get the job done. And here's Rondé in the booth. Welcome.
The offense helped some, too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Bruce Gradkowski with a good game. Guys got going. What is it like for an NFL player to be at an NFL game?
I tell you what, the most coming into the stadium is the hardest part. I sat out in the parking lot with the fans for about 20 minutes, and I was like, it's so much easier to come in when you got an escort with the police and everything else. Sitting out with the tailgaters is not that
They thought you were Tiki. You were with the Giants fan.
Yeah, they'll get over it, though.
You're spoiled.
Eli, 1 of 6 passing on the night. And goes to Brandon Jacobs. Brought down by Sensabaugh, filling in for the injured Donovan Darius. 3rd down.
By the way, congratulations. People magazine named you and Tiki the sexiest twins. You beat out the Olsen girls. That's a stunner to me. How about to you?
The question is, would I be in there if I didn't have a twin?
Probably not, since it was sexiest twins.
Probably not.
I think so. I think so.
Am I sexy without my brother? That's the question that America has to ask.
Here's what we want to ask you, because you are a twin and feel these connections so deeply. How are you going to be playing next year without your brother in the lead? You've thought about that.
Yeah, I have. As I was talking to you last week before the Carolina game, when I sat down with you guys, you know, every year I get ready for football. I drive off what Tiki's getting ready for the season as well. And you know, I've thought about what it's going to be like when I go to camp in August, not knowing what Tiki's doing in the off, you know, getting ready for whatever he's doing in the offseason. I'll be getting ready for football. Tiki obviously was getting ready for something else, and it'll be a different experience for me. I've never had to deal with that through however many years we played.
I'm sorry, but Giants just took a timeout. Go ahead, Tony.
Here's what Tiki said yesterday. For the first time in our lives, we won't be doing the same thing. The connection will be severed.
Yeah.
Do you have that sense, too, that you're branching off into different directions?
Well, through our lives, we've done everything almost exactly the same. It's kind of ironic the way we succeeded in the NFL, too, kind of along the same path. And finally, after 10 years of this professionally, we start doing things differently. It's going to be an adjustment, I think, for us both. Obviously, Tiki's ready to move on. The game has passed him by. He's ready to go out with a bang, hopefully, with the New York Giants. But I'm not ready for that yet. I still have a love for this game, and I intend on playing a lot longer. And Tiki can watch from the sidelines.
He's watching on this play. 3rd and 11. Jacobs was in. Manning comes down to Brandon. The big back tries to barrel for the first down. Runs into Clint Ingram, the 3rd-round pick out of Oklahoma. The Giants go 3 and out and still do not have a first down here tonight.
Tiki told us, or maybe you told us, I think it was Tiki, that you got into football because he got into football. If not for football, Rondi, what do you think you'd be doing?
What would Tiki be doing?
No, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing?
You seem to be dragged in somewhat reluctantly.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go that far. We both have a love for the game, and we always did what each other did because it's really the only way we could be together all the time. And we were as close as two people could be for 21 years through college, and the NFL separated us. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't have gotten into this if Tiki hadn't have gotten into this. It's an interesting question.
Good kick by Fiegels. Pearman taken out of bounds at the 27. A 56-yard kick for Jeff Fiegels, his longest of the year. Jags ball. In the NFL by nearly 6 points, and Jack Del Rio, the old linebacker, loves to have Marcus Stroud and John Henderson, his defensive tackle tandem, back intact tonight. Reggie Williams, reverse. Half a yard shy of the first down. Ball comes out of bounds. The spot will be right at that first down mark.
You pick up little things. You saw the look on Jack's face. He knew what the play was going to be. And you could see him cringe a little bit, wondering, is the defense in the right position? Are they where I want them to be? You ever get that feeling like, okay.
Usually what it comes down to, on any play call on offense is, did you call the right play for the right defense? And sometimes the effort makes up for it or whatnot. But, when Jack called that play, I'm sure he was wondering, are they in cover 2? Is the corner going to be sitting out there in the flat to hit this guy in the face? And if so, is somebody going to block for him? So.
After the Jaguars' 9th first down of the night, and the Giants have none halfway through the second. Taylor got a decent block from Derek Wimbush to get to the 42-yard line. Well, you know about Fred Taylor being here in the state, Rondé, and obviously we know about Tiki's accomplishments. This is so interesting. Over their careers, and we're talking about Tiki potentially as a Hall of Fame back, Fred Taylor, in 41 fewer games, has 5 yards per game more from scrimmage in receiving and rushing, and his yards per rush are very similar, and Tiki is one of the best for guys who've had 2,000 carries. Taylor's really an underappreciated guy.
From being in the state, knowing a lot about what goes on with the Jacksonville Jaguars, everybody talks about Fred Taylor. They talk about how he's injured all the time. That's the first thing that comes out of people's mouth.
Here's Garrard. Tucks it, takes it, uses that big body to get a first down at the 49-yard line.
Not necessarily how good of a back he was. When he came out of college, he was an immediate starter, and he showed a lot of good things, but he was constantly hurt. Tiki kind of, when he came in the league, he was kind of a third down guy, return specialist or whatnot. And then when he got his opportunity, he just kind of flourished, and he never really had to deal with being out for a significant amount of time with injuries. And I think that's why, as we look at both of these guys right now, you see Tiki kind of on the rise and people kind of questioning what Fred Taylor has done. But he's had a great career if you look at his numbers.
And still very productive at 4.7 per carry this year. He's out for a moment. Maurice Jones drew in. What a drive for the Jaguars. They continue. Garrard pointing, taking off. And he's really doing a nice job of picking up yardage here when nothing's open downfield.
Garrard, you saw the exultation before when Taylor went in for the touchdown. Garrard pointing to the heavens in sheer joy. He had nothing to do with that play except handing it off, but if he can get wins, he said, I think I have the chance to take this team to the playoff. As a quarterback, all I have to do is accumulate wins. If I do that, I can be the quarterback. You don't have to be the best looking person in the pageant as long as you win the pageant. Really? Really? I know, because I was never the best looking person in the pack.
Sitting next to one of the sexiest twins ever, right?
Yeah.
Or just this year, sorry.
Just this year.
I'm sorry. Marcus Jones-Drew with the carry. He's stopped by Fred Robbins. We're joined, of course, by Rondé Barber up here.
We got you in the booth, and I think that most people would ask these two questions. One, when you watch your brother get hit, how do you feel being a twin? And two, when you watch him play, do you just watch him or do you watch the whole game?
No, I've become a huge fan of the New York Giants. I was actually up in the box with the Tisches with John and Steven across the way before the game. Because Tiki plays for the Giants, I've naturally evolved into a Giants fan. But when I watch him play, and he gets hit and he goes down on the ground, I'm always like, just get up and do it again. You know how talented he is, as long as he's getting up and playing. I'm like my mom in that regard.
3rd and 5. Garrard has 5 options to throw to. The pass is Matt Jones, dropped again. Incomplete. Wow. Jones, who had a couple go through his hands and turned into interceptions last week, the former Arkansas quarterback, can't make the big catch there.
Matt Jones and Reggie Williams are just fighting the ball terribly. This looks like another excellent throw by David Garrard. Makes the turn, goes up, hits him right in the chest. I mean, Ernest Wolford is the only one that seems to be able to catch the football.
Balls are getting into their bodies. Where are the hands catchers?
Because they're scared.
That looked pretty catchable.
Because they're getting real nervous. They're fighting the ball now, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so.
You start to fight the ball.
The ball gets to your chest pad is not your friend.
Would you ever consider, you talk about the Giants like you like them, are you going to wind up there one day?
I don't think so. I don't think Tampa has any intention of me ever leaving.
Chris Hansen's punt. They're caught by Chad Morton at the 12.
Commercial you've always wanted and talked about if you played for the Giants. You could have Tiki's deal.
Well, when you've had the ball 5 times and can't get a first down, that's what happens. The other team has a 3-1 time of possession advantage. Giants have not had a first down here tonight and only trail by 7.
I think they're fortunate that they have some drops by Jacksonville, as we were just talking about.
And Kareem McKenzie fired early to make this an even tougher first down to pick up. The official's going to have a conference to see if he was induced.
False start. Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So the Giants, who always seem to have false start penalties, only had 1 the last 3 weeks. That's the good news. But they were home the last 3 weeks. They come on the road here and pick up one. That's the louder end of the stadium. Fans real loud down here. Tiki loses yardage. Bobby McCray off the defensive end. Oh, the jump shot.
The jump shot. Now, this Bobby McCray has claimed, apparently, that is his move. That Strahan stole that move from him, right, Mike? Bad blood between the two teams. And that Strahan and the Giants get a lot of run out of that because they're in New York.
That was pulled from the Jim Jones rap video, Ballin'. I know, Tony, you watch that on the bus on a regular basis. But McCray does the Florida Gator chop, and the old Gator does the Ballin' jump shot. 2nd and long. Disastrous half for the Giants is almost an unbelievable interception as it was knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
This is one of the things that Big John Henderson does so well. If he doesn't feel like he can get to the quarterback at 6'7", number 98 just going to put his hands up. You see him over the left guard, starts to push back now, stops, gets that big mid up, and swats it down.
And almost an interception for Tony McDaniel.
One of the things the guys talked about yesterday was we have to get in the face of Eli Manning. Let's get in his way, make it difficult for him to throw.
Eli is 2 of 8 tonight. Pressure, screen to Jacobs. Hey, the Giants got a first down for the first time tonight.
That's the kind of first down that the Bears made against them last week. Remember, on a 3rd and 22, they were able to get 26 yards and get a score at the end of the half, make a game that might have been in the Giants' pocket turn into a real game. Ultimately, Chicago won.
Defensively, the Jaguars were completely screwed up. Clint Ingram, the rookie middle linebacker, was lined up on the wrong side and didn't have the back.
First and 10. Fake to Tiki. Eli flushed and throws an interception to Deion Grant. Grant's second of the year. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Now, you're going to see something here that really bothers the living daylights out of me, and it's the effort of Plexico Burress, who is behind Deion Grant. Watch to the right of your screen, number 17. All right, now he's scrambling. All right, the ball's underthrown. It's intercepted. He comes back. Watch what he does. All right, now he's moving upfield. Interception is made. Now, go tackle the guy. Instead, he just pushes him.
Thought he was touching him when he was up.
I mean, tackle him.
Rondé, what you see in coverage there?
Well, it had a potential to be a huge play. You know, as I was watching it just from the booth up here, you could see the Plex was 5 yards, 10 yards past it.
It's a bad throw and a terrible effort when it was intercepted.
Yeah, well, I think that's showing some frustration by Plex, man. You know he needs to be a football player and finish that play out. He's obviously frustrated by kind of the lack of production on this offense, and it showed right there. They need to get him on the ground. They're in great field position right now.
But that's what happens. That's the way you define professionalism, is when things are going bad, you still have to push yourself through it.
Absolutely right about that. Absolutely right.
Giants took over their opening possession at the 30 and got a field goal to start the game. Jacksonville takes over at the plus 30. A pump and go is well covered down deep, so the dump off comes to Taylor. Gain of 6, tackled by Will Dix.
Good decision by David Garrard, though. If you run the pump and go and it's not there, you can't visually see it, pull it down, dump it off. Now you got 2nd down and 5. No harm, no foul. The crowd is still in it because you don't lose the momentum of a bad play.
Rondé, you've been in this situation a time or two this year. Young offensive, in your case. Offense is struggling. How difficult is it as a defense to not point fingers and play the blame game?
Well, as Joe was just alluding to, talk about being professionals. You know, regardless of the situation of games, we've been in this situation many times during the year because we've been struggling on offense a little bit. You still got to go out and do your job. You know, we get paid to do what we do, and it doesn't fault because the offense isn't producing like we think they should be. Divide the locker room in that way, and you've lost the season at the get-go.
No pass interference there. Matt Jones, the intended receiver.
I do not know how this cannot be pass interference. He pushes them to the ground. The ball is in the air, and there is no flag thrown by the officials. Someone is going to have to explain to either me or the guys down there in striped shirts what pass interference is, because Jack is about to explode out of his brand new Reebok suit.
Well,
he can't believe it.
You being the quarterback like that call, me being or don't like that call, me being the DB, I love that no call.
Look at Jack. Jack wants timeout. He wants an explanation.
He wants at least 5 yards for illegal contact as well.
As long as we've got Rondé here, this is too priceless not to have. We have a family photo album. If you'd like to narrate on this,
oh my goodness,
probably can.
What did my mom send you?
There you are. How old are you there?
I have no idea. I'm always.
Are you sure that's you?
While we're little, I'm always the ones with the lower number because R came before T, and that's how our coach told us apart.
Graduation at UVA?
Graduation at UVA, running our twins camp back in Roanoke that we ran for 9 years with a bunch of college friends. It was fun set of pictures right there. The young ones I would have rather y'all not shown.
Did you tell us a story? I have this correct. You called Tiki a nerd because he wanted to be a valedictorian, right?
No. Tiki is a nerd because he was a valedictorian.
Where did
in college, was he?
He was somewhat of a nerd there as well.
Engineering school for a while, and then
he dropped out of the engineering school because he couldn't keep up. You know, he couldn't make straight A's, so he said, "You know what? I got to do something else."
Just out of curiosity, where did you finish when he was valedictorian? Second?
Somewhere beyond
top 50?
Second.
Yeah. Top 50, top 80?
Definitely top 50. I won't say that I was done by any means. I just didn't measure up to Sir Barber down there.
Wow.
Out of the Jacksonville timeout, 3rd and 4. Garrard throws. It is hung on to for the first down. That's the way you have to describe passes with these Jaguars. George Reister's had a good game. 8 of 11, first down.
I've never watched a football game where, while the ball is in the air, it's like watching a Michael Jordan jump shot. You're not sure if it's going to go in, and with regard to the Jacksonville Jaguar wide receivers, you're just not 100% sure they're going to catch it.
Giants defense back in the red zone. Manning and the Giants have mustered just 1 first down, and as soon as they got that, the next play they turned it over. The Giants defense has given up a touchdown 12 of the last 14 times the opponent's been in the red zone, including Jacksonville's touchdown drive tonight. Gerard Taylor, 2 linemen block it, paving the way, but he lost the football, and the Giants come up with a huge play. Antonio Pierce recovers in the end zone for a touchback.
That's what happens when you never stop. That's what happens. It looks like he's going to be going in, and you just keep hustling and hustling. Antonio Pierce, one of the last man standing on the defense. A well-conceived middle screen, have the lineman out front. Look at the way he plays it, comes around. Ball gets stripped loose, and Antonio Pierce hustling to get down there. That ball just comes out of his hand.
Jabril Wilson reaches around, too, and helps knock it out.
Defense have been struggling all day. That's a good turnover in the red zone. You know, we look at red zone opportunity or red zone plays as an opportunity to stand up and be great. The Giants just did.
Now, what does the offense do with it? You have 2 minutes left. You've got timeouts. You have everything going for you.
Well, you don't have everything going for you because you've only made 1 first down in the whole half.
Well, yeah, you should have something going for you offensively if you're going to spread them out. This is usually where Eli puts some numbers up.
After Taylor's 3rd fumble in the last 5 games, Manning to Shockey. 2nd time he throws to him, 1st catch. Gain of 8, 2 timeouts left.
I think anything productive will be good for the Giants right here.
They get 3 out of this drive. It'll be excellent.
Beg your pardon, marked as a gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Quick start from McCray off the edge. He was offside. Tiki gets 9 out of it to the 36.
Del Rio looks like his life is flashing before his eyes, doesn't he?
I think he's reliving that fumble.
Well, it was a Fred Taylor fumble last week against Houston that really started the downward spiral for the Jaguars in their home loss to the Texans.
And Fred guaranteed a win last week.
Yeah, we asked him about that. He said, well, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Says, I'm a man, I was wrong. Okay.
What else are you going to say after you guarantee a win and you don't win?
Well, he could have said maybe you got the score wrong in the newspaper or something.
Athletes have been known to be wrong.
Hey, you've got a short week this week, by the way.
We have a very short week this week.
On the play. Offside. Defense number 93. Penalties decline. Personal foul. Defense. Headbutt. 15-yard penalty. And a first down.
Didn't give the number, but that's a big tack on there for the Giants. Yeah, and Jack wants to know the number as well.
That's one of those where you make the mental note of the number.
Apparently that number will remain private between the 2 of them.
Well, here for your edification, it was Clint Ingram going after Sean O'Hara, the center. So the rookie 3rd-round pick out of Oklahoma with a bad play. And the Giants are in Jaguars territory, but a flag will bring them back.
The Giants just don't look very comfortable.
False start. Offense number 70. A 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
The 15-year veteran Bob Whitfield in for Luke Pettigrew out with the broken fibula.
Now, Clint Ingram, their young linebacker, is going to have to calm down, or they may have to pull him out for a second so he doesn't do something else stupid.
After the 43rd penalty this year on the Giants offense, more than any other offense in the NFL. 1st and 15 screen. Tiki didn't hang on.
I think that was the same play they had drawn up before.
And didn't.
I think he's drawn up to hold on to that thing now.
It's a good play. You've got him dropping back. Little screen, drop it off. Tiki's just trying to run with it before he takes off. I guess if you're a Giant fan, you look at it and say, well, if Tiki Barber's putting the ball on the ground on easy passes, it's just not a good night. But the Giants have always been a much better team in the second half than they have in the first half this year.
Manning's throw is complete. Shockey 4 shy of the first down.
I love the spirit that Jeremy Shockey plays with. I mean, you watch him catch the ball, get up from the ground, get back on the line of scrimmage. I mean, he plays with such a passion.
3rd and 5, looking at Burris. Plex cannot hang on. Over there in coverage with Rasheed Mathis. The linebackers getting in the way. And we'll have 4th down.
Now you got the quarterback upset that the receiver didn't go far enough in. You got the receiver upset that the ball is led. See, Plex isn't running hard. He just sort of eases into it, and as a quarterback, you have to be on the same page. You can't slow down.
That, the quarterback or the receiver?
I put it on the receiver.
I think his receivers need to help him out. Obviously, Tiki dropped the one. Plex just dropped that one. Sometimes it's not always the quarterback's fault.
Thank you. Thank
and
you
I know
so
Joe
much,
likes
Rondé.
to hear that.
That was the wrong thing to say in this booth.
So well put. So well put. See, Tony, I'm not the only one.
Fiegels to kick, and we have a flag.
Yes,
Delay a game.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Repeat fourth down.
Remains fourth down.
I had mentioned Rondé has a short week. The Bucs play Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yes, we do.
Been in a Thanksgiving Day game
This
before?
is my first Thanksgiving Day game. Excited about it, actually. You know, the national audience, everybody watches football on Turkey Day. This is our first opportunity to be there. So,
Got your book here as well?
Yeah, teammates.
You and
the last
you
book.
and your brother?
The final book in the of the children's book.
You won't be teammates anymore.
No.
It'll be newscaster and football player.
Yeah, Tiki's got some works in the, got some deals in the works as we speak.
Tiki got top billing over you. It says TK and Rondé Barber. How come?
You know what? I was the firstborn twin. I have never figured out why Tiki's name comes first. Maybe it just sounds better coming off people's tongue.
He's in New York.
Well, obviously, the big media market helps.
No. Sad commentary upon this country that it works that way.
I don't mind it. New York's a great city. He can have as much as he wants.
Real quick, what's the feeling down in Tampa now? You got one under your belt, but what's going on?
You know, we've struggled all year, and as we were talking about last week on our Monday night game, the effort has been there the entire time. Sometimes the effort hasn't been good enough for us to win, though, and it is somewhat frustrating. We lose Christopher Sims at the beginning of the year, and we go to Bruce Gradkowski, who's been good and bad this year. He's put us in some games, and he's struggled at times too. But it's not just him. The defense has lost its way sometimes this year. But I think above all, John's kept us together, and we know that through these next 6 games, we're going to go out and fight, regardless of what our situation is. We're going to go out and play football. It's because it's what we do. It's what we love to do, and we'll see what happens at the end of the year.
Jacksonville going no huddle here as Taylor ran for a couple of yards. So they only have to run one more time if they so choose. But they'll throw here from the 15. And the pass is caught by Maurice Jones-Drew. He'll get the first down, and we'll see if Jacksonville will take a timeout or just let the half run out. And they look to just let the half expire with 8 seconds left. Well, they're going to try to run a play. This is dangerous. If you're going to go downfield, go downfield. If not, don't do something silly. 1 second remaining. Rondé, thank you for joining us on this short week. It's a good chance for you to see your brother Tiki play, but we appreciate it. And we will wish you and the Bucs the best of luck the rest of the year.
I appreciate you guys letting me steal some of your airtime.
Anytime.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, this isn't stealing. We're sharing. Love to have you.
Good deal.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you again.
You got it. Rondé Barber, of course, his brother Tiki retiring from the NFL after this season, and he and the Giants will need to pick up their performance in the second half with just a couple of first downs. But lucky guys to be down just 10-3.
Very lucky that Jacksonville was going in for that fumble.
Final play of this first half, barring a defensive flag, they hand it off to Maurice Jones-Drew. The rookie yard shy of the first down as we get to the end of the first half. Well, the Giants only put 3 on the board on the opening drive. Fastest 3 minutes, jacked up. And the update on Brett Favre on the Toyota Halftime Show now with Steve Young, Mike Lervin, Tom Jackson. The third quarter here in Jacksonville. It is very cool here. The folks here aren't used to 40 degrees at kickoff, so they were seeking shelter at the half, ready to fill back in to Alltel Stadium. You could say in a lot of nice ways. Give credit to the Jacksonville defense and Jack Del Rio. But if you want to be honest, Tom Coughlin and the Giants offense was awful in the first half.
If you're a sports writer, you start out by writing the Giants stunk. If they're feeling Dallas's hot breath on their necks, it must be burning because they have nothing on offense.
But 3 first downs, 73 yards in the half, yet they only trail by 7, and they can't even catch the kickoff to start the quarter. Derek Ward, all kinds of trouble. Susie Culver on the sideline. Susie.
Mike, as you say, that Jags defense only allowed 3 first downs, and Jack Del Rio told me the thing he's most proud of is that the Giants couldn't get that run game going, and when you're facing the league's leading rusher, he said it all comes down to fundamentals. It's as simple as tackling. Tom Coughlin said Eli has to play himself out of this slump. He said they tried to create momentum with the no huddle at the end of the half. They started to get it going and still messed it up. He said they just need a couple of plays to get it going, just have to do something right. But on the bright side, it's only 10-3, and they played awful.
From the 10, they missed that play. Eli couldn't get to Tiki for the handoff, and they lose 3.
Eli went the wrong way. They tried to go on a quick count, and Eli turned the wrong way. He is flustered. I mean, he's a young man. We talk about the poise, the Manning name, and all that kind of stuff. He's a young quarterback. He just flat goes the wrong. I mean, he has no idea where Tiki's going to wind up. I can say this. I have done that. You think you're supposed to go to one side, then you try and turn around and get on the other. But Eli needs something to settle him down a little bit. And 2nd and 11 is not it. Like what, Pepto-Bismol? Would be a good start.
Schenko in motion. Shockey, the only guy bottom of the screen, coming his way. Never a chance. 3rd down coming up. Eli in the first half. What'd you see, Joseph?
Well, it's exactly what I've seen so far here in this game. Just mechanically very poor. Throws this ball dead into the ground. No touch. It's like he's trying to put the ball places instead of just throwing it. Behind Plexco, should have been out in front of him. Now he doesn't get a push off, doesn't get his hip rotated. Therefore, he has no energy and no power on this throw that winds up being intercepted. It's all mechanical in him.
On 3rd and 12, Manning throws for Burris. Plex couldn't get it. Very tight coverage and good coverage by Rasheem Mathis, helping force fall 4th down.
Joe, he's the overall #1 pick. He made great progress last year, and through the first 3 or 4 games this year, appeared to be making great progress. He say mechanically he's no good.
I didn't say no good. He's struggling.
Okay, are we seeing somebody now who's regressing as a quarterback, or is this just some minor thing that's going on with him?
I think it's minor. I feel like he has the ability to be able to correct every one of the problems he has mechanically. He's smart enough. He works hard enough. It can be corrected.
Chance for good field position here. Fiegel's punt is another nice one. 47 yards. Pierman from the 45. In traffic, but the Jaguars will start in Giants territory.
You just get back to this. I mean, he has coaching, doesn't he? Where's the coaching for him over the last few weeks as they've watched him descend and descend and descend? Where are the coaches?
His own admission said, I struggled last week, and so did his head coach, Tom Coughlin. They met on Monday. Thought Eli was in a pretty good place, but you see this week, it continues to be a struggle. Unable to get a first down on this opening drive of the quarter, thus David Garrard and the Jags take over at the Giants' 47. And Garrard's pass is complete to Ernest Wilford, who's had the best night, 5th catch of the night, first down gain of 17.
Contrary to what we've seen Eli Manning struggle with, David Garrard does a real nice job stepping in the pocket. His receivers are helping him out. Nice touch on this ball up the field. He shows a lot of different variety, and they can do a lot of things with him. Very effective as he gets outside and challenges the corner. We saw that same route run just on this last completion.
5 catches for Wilford. Giants wide receivers, no catches tonight. From the 30, Fred Taylor. Big fumble going in for a touchdown earlier. Gains 2 here.
I'll talk to you about Garrard for a second. Last year, when he started 5 games, he was holding the fort down for Byron Leftwich. This year, he believes it's his team probably till the end of the year. What's the difference in mindset?
Well, the difference in mindset is you get a chance to practice. You sit down in a room, coach is talking to you. He's not talking to the other guy. They're building plays for you. The mobile plays, Garrard on the move, are not things you would see with Byron Leftwich. So the offense becomes tailored to your skills and your abilities.
Fred Taylor to the 24-yard line, gain of 4. Byron Leftwich, who you guys were talking about, the franchise quarterback, it looked like here over the last couple of years, was injured and missed the last 5 regular season starts last year, came back for the playoffs, and Garrard went back to the bench. They lost the wild card game at New England. Garrard getting the job here because Leftwich injured his ankle, the same ankle he broke in the game against, or the game last year against Phoenix. In all likelihood, he broke it, or re-injured it, excuse me, in the Washington game this year. But it lingered. He tried to play through it. That's the guy who was carried down the field by his teammates in college. But the pain became too much, and now it has been Garrard the last 3 games. Leftwich for surgery tomorrow. George Reister, the tight end, makes it 1st and goal, Jaguars at the 9.
It was interesting how he got the job. He didn't even know, Garrard didn't know he got the job. He found out from his wife, who was reading a website with Jack Del Rio's comments. Jack Del Rio had publicly said he didn't know if he was going to go to Leftwich or go to Garrard. And then Leftwich found out, and Leftwich made an announcement. And most people think it was bungled in terms of when the quarterbacks knew what was going on.
He's thrown the ball very accurately tonight. The balls that he's had 3 dropped, but he's put it right on the money all night.
2 tight ends, 1st and goal from the 9. Looking Mercedes Lewis, the tight end near side. Blocking for Taylor. Make sure he secures the ball as he gets 2 yards to the 7-yard line.
I'd like to make one other point on Byron Leftwich's situation. He's having his ankle scoped. Quite often when we see a joint scoped at this level, the guy can come back and play. So he has not ruled out the fact that he may be able to come back to this football team. Right now, there's no issue who the quarterback is. But if David Garrard mounts a run at the end for the Jaguars, which they need, and Byron Leftwich pronounces himself okay in 5 or 6 weeks, then Jack Del Rio has a decision.
Similar situation to last year could be at the end of the regular season. 2nd and goal. Taylor. Only a yard here, 3rd and goal. Susie, you spoke to Byron Leftwich earlier today.
Well, right, and a lot of people believe that the relationship is strained between Jack Del Rio and Byron Leftwich because Del Rio played David Garrard when Leftwich felt he was healthy enough to play. But he told me today that looking back, maybe Jack was right. He said, I was in too much pain. I was in too much pain to practice enough to really feel prepared on Sunday afternoon. So he said, there is no rift. We are back on the same page. And he just wants to get back and help the team any way he can.
And Suze, he wanted to play 16 games. That was his mission. Byron wanted to line up because he'd been hurt.
Maurice Jones-Drew in the game. 3rd and goal after 2 conservative play calls. Pressure from the Giants. Garrard. Wilford. Incomplete. Out of the back. 4th down. And Wilford is shaken up as he hit the deck hard.
He's been the most reliable of the receivers. They can ill afford to lose him. You win at the line of scrimmage on fade. See, this ball is thrown where he has no chance to be able to make a play. And he winds up hitting, looks like a camera.
Over in that tight corner with a lot of people over there on the back edge of the end zone. We'll step out. Military governor of Florida, the only U.S. president to be a prisoner of war. Josh Scobie on for the field goal attempt. Good from 24. He made one from 39 earlier. Wilford, the injured receiver, walked off under his own power, and the Jaguars lead the Giants by 10. Just to restate the importance of tonight, if the Giants lose the game here, they'll be tied with the Cowboys for first place in the NFC East. Giants obviously having the better division record and the head-to-head win that we saw 4 weeks ago on Monday Night Football. But remember, the Cowboys, after playing the Buccaneers on Thanksgiving, have the break and then go to the Meadowlands to play the Giants. Brandon Jacobs back on this kickoff return, and he takes it from the 1. So Jacobs, in as a kick returner, brings it out to the 30-yard line.
You don't want to minimize the circumstance here that the Giants are in terms of injuries. Seattle faced this, having lost Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander. The Giants have 6 or 7 starters out. Tiki Barber said the other day, you always want to focus on this game this week, but if we hang in there for a couple of weeks, these guys will be back. They will be back this year if we can just stem the tide. but the tide is rolling all over them. This is a roll tide Alabama situation.
The tide's
Giants
coming in.
have nothing.
Yeah, the tide's coming in. And Eli is the one that's going to have to push the tide back out.
1st and 10 from the 30, a gun run with Barber, who gains 4 to the 34-yard line. Barber's been quiet. Everybody's been quiet. What about Jeremy Shockey, Joe?
Well, Jeremy Shockey, to me, is the lightning rod for this team. He can have an impact, just like a Antonio Gates and a Tony Gonzalez. And you see the fire he plays with. That ball was thrown behind him. Now he's trying to talk it over with Eli, explain what he wants to do. Still not happy. To me, you have to include him in your offense in a big way. He can make a difference. 2nd down. Manning just getting rid of it out of the tackle box as he tried to avoid the Marcus Stroud sack. And incomplete. Just checking to see if it got to the line of scrimmage and there was an eligible receiver down there. And all should be okay. Marcus Stroud has come back. Number 99. Here comes the pressure. Outside. Look at how big he is. 6'6", 306. Runs like a deer. And Eli does a good job. They missed Marcus Stroud. Now they can't just double John Henderson.
Stroud missed the last 5 games. Bone bruised right ankle. 3rd and 6. 3rd down has been a disaster for the Giants for the last 2 weeks. They're 1 of 7 tonight. Pressure. Manning. Sack. The ball may have come out. This might be live and could be a touchdown for Paul Spicer. Touchdown, Jacksonville. We have a penalty marker down in the secondary at the 41-yard line.
If it's against the Jacksonville Jaguars, you can consider Eli Manning having a very early Christmas because he tried to do something very foolish.
Illegal use of hands to the face. 25 defense, 5-yard penalty, and a 1st down.
25 is Ahmad Carroll, who was cut by the Green Bay Packers after we saw him on a Monday night this year.
On the last
and it's the wrong number. I'm sorry, it's the wrong number because Carroll is inactive tonight. It's Rasheed Mathis, 27.
You see at top of the front, number 27 comes up. There's the shot in the face to Plexico. That's a good call by the officials, and Eli Manning just got real lucky, and so did the Giants.
So 1st down picked up via the penalty. 1st and 10. That was very high with Mathis covering on the intended receiver, David Tyree.
This is what made this last play so bad. They bring the safety blitz. From the right-hand side, here comes the safety. All right, there comes the blitz. Now he's scrambling around. Just take the sack. Instead, he tries to swing the ball around, throw it away. Eli Manning is losing his composure right now. He has to just not to try and force plays. There he is trying to get the ball out of his hand to make a throw. Take the sack, protect it, let the defense go out, slow this thing down a little bit.
Pressure picked up. Manning's pass hung on to by Burris, just shy of the 1st down.
Let me go back to a few plays before. On one play, you said it was pretty good that he sort of threw it underhanded, to just get it out of his hands. But he looked like he wasn't paying attention to where he was throwing it. The next play, he gets trapped back there, runs around the circle. That doesn't work. He looks completely lost.
He does. He does look completely lost.
Giants running no huddle. Jacksonville taking a timeout.
He's unaware of where the people are around him. The one he threw underhand, he knew where everyone was. As he was scrambling out, he had no idea who was chasing him. Found out it was somebody really big.
Well, the Giants have seen a lot of this frustration this year. This is their 10th game and the 6th time that they've gone to the second half trailing by at least 9 points. Tonight it has been Manning's poor play, inability to get the running game going, and a very good Jacksonville defense. Out of the Jaguars called timeout, 3rd and less than a yard. Run the big back. Jacobs stopped earlier on 3rd and 1. This time he'll get the 1st down at midfield. Nick Bryson, the ex-Giant, came up and hit him. So the Giants' big names who have to carry them. Obviously, Manning, the poor performance. Nothing out of Barber. 7 touches, 33 yards. And Jeremy Shockey with just the 2 receptions.
Eli Manning yesterday talked to us. I asked him what grade he would give himself. He said, I'm in the C+, B- range. I can do better than that. Today, he's in the D- range. And that's being nice to him.
Coaching, yeah.
Yes. Coaching, yeah.
From midfield. Manning throws. Did Burris come down in bounds? No, the heels were out of bounds.
That one looked like it was a better throw, at least. This throw looks like it has a chance to be a better throw. Gets it in, even though Plex doesn't get his feet in bounds. It still had the ball was in a better range for the receiver to be able to catch it.
To be fair, Manning's great moments this year have come in the second half, mostly in the fourth quarter and overtime.
That's where Shockey has most of his catches and all of his touchdowns.
Second and 10. Back to Burris in front of Brian Williams. First down. Once again, this is a Giants offense that's missing 2 key parts. They're missing their starting left tackle, Luke Pettigrew. Bob Whitfield's in, and we've seen a couple of times they've had to keep the back in to help Whitfield with blocking. And Burris doesn't have his opposite number, Amani Toomer, the Giants' all-time leader in receiving yards. There's no huddle effective on the one drive that worked to David Tyree. Special teams standout, gain of 8.
Toomer's situation is really meaningful to Manning. Manning has said that Toomer was his bailout guy, his favorite receiver on a lot of levels, and he's gone for the year.
Second and 2. Barber runs up the middle and gets the first down. Another advantage here is with that Marcus Stroud coming back from an injury, hard to keep him on the field the whole time when you're going no huddle at this pace.
It is hard. The guy's been out. There's a conditioning factor. Even though it's a cool night, you're talking about a very big man and just trying to gut his way through it. They've been able to rotate. They're pretty deep at the defensive line with Marcellus Wiley being able to spell him.
Good throwing lane for Manning. Fires for Shockey, and it's broken up. Good deep drop by Darryl Smith. He had to move into the middle linebacker spot after the season-ending injury to Mike Peterson, Jacksonville's outstanding middle backer.
The thing that I'm seeing, though, from Eli Manning is he's throwing the football better. This is a good throw. Takes a terrific defensive play, but the ball is where it's supposed to be. Turning over down the field.
Just like that, he's better? Just like that?
It happens. He's throwing it better.
Go back to Tom Coughlin's comment of offense's rhythm. This is the first drive the Giants have picked up first downs and kept the ball for more than a New York minute. Second and 10, blitz pickup. Burris made a man miss, and Plexico Burris inside the 10 takes the Giants right back into the game. Touchdown, Big Blue.
All right, Brian Williams, number 29, and Gerald Sensabaugh, number 43, got left in the dust by Plexico Burris.
Isn't that something how this happens? We were writing the Giants off 30 seconds ago. Manning looked terrible. Then all of a sudden, Manning, a few crisp tosses. Burris, who you had buried a quarter ago as being not even professional in the way he handled himself on a particular play where he didn't tackle somebody, makes 2 guys miss, gets in the end zone, it's a game.
And that's the thing about Plexico Burris. He has that kind of ability all the time. You have to get him involved. He'll mope on you.
Feely adds the extra point. So remember, the Jaguars were looking at a defensive score to go up 20-3, but there was an illegal hands to the face. The Giants go 11 plays, 70 yards, and Burris makes it a 3-point game. Jay-Z, who is out of retirement and back in the spotlight. And Jay-Z is with us in the booth here in Jacksonville. A New Yorker at heart. Guy who grew up in Brooklyn, shows up when the Giants score a touchdown. Good timing, Jay-Z.
Yeah, Brooklyn guy.
Jay Feely, the kickoff, as it's 13-10. A 3-point game and returned by Wimbush. Nice job by Derek to bring it out to the 37-yard line. So Jay-Z joins us up here. Now, you want to talk about a busy schedule. This guy, now, you come out of retirement a very easy way. You only hit 7 cities in 24 hours. Is that right?
Yeah, I started in Philly at 6 in the morning and ended in Vegas like 6 in the morning.
And performed in each city?
Yeah, performed.
Here's the key question. Whose idea was that?
Well, it was our idea. We was in the think tank thinking ways to push it forward and do something different, and I paid for it yesterday.
It was a little tough to bounce back, huh?
Yeah.
You went on at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
You went on at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Hit Atlanta, Philly, D.C., Jersey, Chicago, L.A., and Las Vegas. Garrard and the Jags offense trying to get back going. First down throw. What a catch by Mercedes Lewis, the rookie tight end out of UCLA. 10 yards, first down.
That's the first-round pick. Only 5 catches to this point. If he can do that, he can help this team.
Well, Jacksonville's returning the Giants' favor. The Giants went no huddle on the last drive, and Jacksonville is trying to do the same here. Lewis is just a half-yard shy of the first down. And they'll run with Maurice Jones-Drew and get it. Tackled by Carlos Evans, first down at the 43. So you come here to the game tonight, and you were sitting in the Tish's box over there, the Giants owner. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're good guys. They told me their pop was actually from Brooklyn. It was a Brooklyn guy, so,
the Tish
we got ties.
Yeah, that's right. The Tish family and the Mara family. And your sports ties go beyond being a New Yorker, like New York teams, as part of the ownership group with the New Jersey Nets basketball team.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to Brooklyn.
That's right.
It all has a common theme here.
The plan to move the Nets to the Atlantic Yards project in Brooklyn coming up soon. Probably in the next 3 years or so. From the 43, Maurice Jones-Drew with the carry. Gain of 5 yards.
Of course, for some of us who are from Long Island, we were hoping you'd go a little bit past Brooklyn and back to Long Island where they started, but we'll take you in Brooklyn. It's okay.
It's all New York, okay?
Okay.
Well, wait a second. I'm from New Jersey, so I'm just sort of watching. I'm on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You retired from your active performing career as one of the top rap artists of all time, and now have come back. Tiki Barber, we keep talking about with retirement. Did you miss the limelight? Did you miss the spotlight?
Yeah, when you have passion for something, I've been going at this. My first album dropped in '96. I dropped the album every year after that, so I have passion for recording. So my passion brought me back to it.
First down. Waits at the 33. Garrard's pass is deflected and nearly intercepted. Will Demps had the coverage, and it almost turned into a ricochet with Antonio Pierce coming up with the interception.
Do I understand you're man of the year on the coverage GQ? Are you the man of the year? You're one of the men in the year? That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think Leonardo and Will Ferrell is the other two. It was 3 of us, so it's 3 covers. So that's pretty.
It's okay. It's good company.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. Yeah. So you have Kingdom Come, which is your return disc that comes out nationally tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Kingdom Come starts tomorrow. It's a big deal.
Huge deal in the music industry. Third down coming up. Garrard pressured and brought down. Reggie Torborg got out of there. Sacked by Torborg. That's the beauty of Garrard. To the 21-yard line, first down. He's a guy who's big enough and strong enough to get out of plays like that.
We talked to Tom Coughlin, and he said, you like David Garrard so much. Why did you draft him? He said, because of his athletic ability. He said he's very thick around the waist, and he's very thick in the legs. And you saw Torborg try and bring him down around the waist. He was not able to do it. I can honestly say that is a play that you would probably not see Byron Leftwich be able to make because he doesn't move that well.
Giant fans remember that on Monday night. Randall Cunningham, Carl Banks in Philadelphia. Remember that play? Couldn't bring Randall down, huh? Garrard's third rushing first down on the night. From the 21-yard line, Maurice Jones-Drew to Antonio Pierce's waiting arms, a gain of 5 to the 16.
He was hit completely square. He was going down. Come on now, that was Frazier hitting Ali. He was going down.
Watch what happens. Watch how strong he is. He stands in the pocket. Torborg's got him. Hits him square right in the chest and barely knocks him backwards. Now, how does it affect the offensive side of the ball? Jeremy Shockey can't believe it.
Having another calm moment.
She may put that guy on the defense.
That's right. Second down, Maurice Jones-Drew lost the toss, got it back, got back to the line, and got a couple to the 14. We'll have 3rd and 3. Did you grow up a Giants fan or a Jets fan in New York?
I got to be honest, I'm a New York guy, but my pop, I grew up a Dallas fan. My pops was a Dallas fan.
That's
it
good.
Hurts me. It hurts me.
Now, your pops was, but what about you?
You grow up with your parents. You know your parents like it. You like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice way of saying it. Well, what do you think they're doing? How do you think they're doing this year?
The Cowboys?
Cowboys, yeah.
I think they're great. I think the one game in Washington, I can't get over that one. Won that game. They'd have won that game right there. They're in great shape right now.
It's the only loss since Tony Romo has taken over at quarterback. The
Rome was built in a day.
There you go. Wrap that. 3rd and 3. Garrard complete to Reister for the first down at the 10-yard line. So the disc is Kingdom Come. It comes out tomorrow. Jay-Z's on the American Music Awards on ABC. Keeps performing. He's going to get some rest at some point. But it's great to have you here in the Monday Night Booth. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Good luck to you on the disc release.
Thank you.
Don't retire, Andy.
Yeah.
Cowboy fan, so we're happy for that.
I can get over it, though. I can get over it.
Jay-Z joining us here in the booth. Jacksonville leading 13-10 at the 2-minute mark, third quarter.
What has been so impressive is the way David Garrard has answered what the Giants did. They went down, got a touchdown, great play by Plex. Now the Jaguars have driven right back down against this Giant defense.
Taylor gets it to the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal there.
I still can't get over this. Garrard was down. He was hit with everything. If he was a tree, he'd be down at that point.
That's a big tree, Tony.
One of those plays that sometimes can make a game, and you saw it last week. One snap can make a difference in the game. That 3rd and 22 and the field goal return.
The rush yards, Jaguars 150. They've been very consistent on 1st and 10. Very few negative yards. Of course, the Giants not able to get anything running the football.
And the Giants defense come up big in the red zone again. Garrard throws, knocked away by Corey Webster.
They keep working to Reggie Williams, giving the kid a chance to be able to make a play. Garrard stands real tall. Gets bumped inside. Try to make a play. Nice job. Boy, that's a good play.
Giants defense making wholesale changes. The Jaguars have had the ball 31 minutes tonight, so this Giants defense already thinned. Very tired.
And George Reister, number 87, the tight end, they tried to get the ball to him before down here.
Looking for Jones-Drew out of the backfield. He couldn't slide and pull it in as Torbor was closing on coverage. And Jacksonville's going to have to come back for a field goal attempt.
It looks like it's getting slippy down there. Slippery. We saw Brian Williams slip trying to tackle Plexico. Now Jones-Drew gets his feet out from underneath him and just slides to the ground.
It's a moral victory for the Giants to hold the team without a touchdown. That's twice in the red zone. They came in with the worst red zone defense in the whole league.
11 of the last 13. That became 12 of the last 14.
So here's Josh Scobie, who's made his last 13 attempts. This from 23 yards. It is a 6-point game with 55 seconds left.
This is really something. Jacksonville's up 16-10. Giants totally in it. Jacksonville has left 14 points, on the board. One with a fumble by Fred Taylor, one on a penalty when they had a defensive touchdown. It could easily be 30-10. But instead, the Giants are right there.
Those of you just joining us here at the top of the hour, a huge struggle for Eli Manning in the first half. Had a good last drive that led to the touchdown by Plexico Burress. 3 catches, 48 yards on a night the Giants wideouts haven't done much. Meantime, David Garrard, his wideouts have helped him a bit more. Fewer drops tonight. Still, they haven't played great. And 32 rushing yards, keeping the last drive alive. And some of the points Tony was talking about that have been left on the side of the road. Taylor scored once, was going in the second quarter, but that fumble recovered by Antonio Pierce prevented Jacksonville from having an even larger lead at this late stage in the third.
And the fumble. They had actually scored Jacksonville, and it was brought back because of a defensive penalty in the secondary.
And that last drive looked like Eli Manning got into a rhythm and actually threw the ball with a lot more confidence and a lot more accuracy than he did in the first half.
You'd be amazed at what happens if you don't go 3 and out every single time.
Give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
It happens so often in games. When you have a chance to put somebody down and away, if you don't do it, you leave them in the game. I mean, this thing here has got 17-16 written all over for the Giants to come back.
Scobie's second touchback of the night. terrific kickoff guy, a dozen on the year. More than any Jacksonville kicker in their history. Our aerial coverage tonight from Alltel Stadium brought to you by Goodyear. Some of the fans have filled back in, but many, to be frank, it was too cold for them. We started in the 40s, and this is about as cool as it's ever been for a Jaguars home game.
Coolest that I've experienced.
Well, there's Eli, 5 of 16 throughout the night. But, Joe, you talked about the rhythm picked up by the no-huddle and the last drive.
That's the way he started, and he got to 50%, but he threw the ball. He just mechanically looked better. He looked more confident, more comfortable throwing the football.
The Giants, who have 8 first downs tonight, picked up 5 of them on their prior drive. This one starts from the 20. And Manning throwing deep for Burris. Able to haul it in at the 26-yard line. First down and a pickup of 54.
Plexico Burris has been the designated big guy for them ever since he got there. Now, this is a terrific catch. He has the ability to be able to tap the ball, but now, is it a catch? Here's the question. He taps it. Does he have control? No.
Oh, no.
That's an incomplete.
No. And the Giants are running their no-huddle, Joe.
Jack Del Rio better challenge.
Flag comes out, and let's see. I think they got it just in time, and they did.
Yep.
They fired the flag at the line judge standing on the Jacksonville sideline.
That's a good job by Jack Del Rio being close enough to the line judge and being able to get the communication upstairs. When the ball hits the ground, you have to maintain control. You see the ball be jostled as he tries to gain control after it hits the ground. Could be and should be an incomplete.
Jacksonville has challenged a ruling on the field that the pass is complete.
We examined Jack Del Rio's suit yesterday, and if you remember, Joe and Mike, he had a zippered pocket in the inside lining, where I suggested that's where he would keep the challenge flag.
If it was,
I have no idea if that's where he kept it, but luckily for him, maybe he kept it in his shoe. Luckily for him, he got it out just in time, because you think this will be reversed and they're going back down the other end of the field, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Like Belichick, he looks like a sock guy. Bill Belichick, we saw 2 weeks ago, as a sock tucker with his red flag. Well, the story on this game from the Jacksonville side, we showed you the Giants' division perspective. You know, Indianapolis is so far away at 9-1, even though they lost to Dallas. It's going to be hard for Jacksonville, almost impossible for them to win the division. They have to look at the wild card realistically. Denver and Kansas City in that stout AFC West have the 2 best records of non-division leaders at this point. Jacksonville trying to get to 6-4. Jacksonville, a very tough closing schedule at Buffalo, which can play very well at home, obviously. At Miami, playing better. Indianapolis, they play at Tennessee, New England, and then Kansas City.
That game could determine the wild card down the road.
Now
last game of the season.
Now we have Cincinnati and Indianapolis later on also. There's the tap. Does he have control? The ball hits the ground. Now, it's tough to look at it on that angle, but the other view that we saw as he's coming towards us, right here, terrific job getting it into, but when it hits his body, see how it moves? And once it moves and hits the ground, it should be ruled an incomplete pass, according to the way they rule it.
Well, you've been right so far tonight. You're 1-0 on a big one.
On the big one.
Want to double your money here and go for 2-0, don't you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, guys, that first replay that came up was the definitive replay. And that's so important in these situations because the Giants were going no huddle as their offensive strategy, not to try to beat a potential replay challenge. And because the correct replay that showed it immediately was the first one, it gave Jacksonville the reason to challenge the call.
Who deserves the credit are the guys upstairs in the booth for the Jacksonville Jaguars that communicated.
After review, the pass is incomplete. Makes it second down. Jacksonville is not charged with a timeout. Please reset the game clock for 37 seconds.
They do lose a challenge, so each team has one remaining challenge going forward to the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter.
Remember how you say that one play can be a difference maker in a game? That could have been the play. That's a 54-yard game.
That's how Plaxico Burress feels about that decision. Just absolutely took the air right out of him. And now, hey, you had one that didn't go your way. Don't hang your head. Don't sulk. Go out and make another one.
He didn't sulk. He just lay down for 20 minutes.
of an effort.
2nd and 10, Barber. Gain of 3. Gerald Sensabaugh has done a great job tonight in for the injured Donovan Darius. Darius, the defensive leader of the back line for the Jaguars, injured his ankle in the first quarter. The second-year man, a 5th-round pick out of North Carolina, has stepped in well tonight.
And Mike, Kiki Barber has basically been reduced as a hip pocket helper for Bob Whitfield, the left tackle. He's just helping out on Spicer and Bobby McCray that are rushing.
Manning hit as he threw, and throwing for Shockey. It was high and incomplete. Free run for Scott Starks, 3rd-round pick of that 05 draft out of Wisconsin.
Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has responsibility for the job that this team has done, only giving up 7.4 points at home. Talked to Dave Campo, who came in, was a head coach in Dallas. Now he handles the secondary. Said Mike Smith's one of the best coaches he's ever been around who doesn't get enough credit.
Back to Fiegels for a punt that should take us to the end of the 3rd. Not his best. 35 yards. Pierman, not the prettiest catch, but effective. He's down at the 45, and that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. A night of frustration continues for the Giants, who are trying to hold on to their sole lead in the NFC East. Off we go to the 4th quarter here in Jacksonville. Feeling pretty good about their effort tonight against the Jacksonville defense, against the Giants offense. John Henderson and the Jacksonville defense have stymied Eli Manning's crew. They're over there putting the brain power together to see if they can make it work.
John Henderson doesn't get slapped in the face anymore before a game. He's
Burris didn't
more
look
mental
too happy, did he?
No.
Park bench guy at that point.
David Garrard takes over for the Jaguars from their own 45. First down, swings it out to Jones-Drew. Maurice gets 6, tackled by Reggie Torborg.
We were talking before about where Jacksonville is in the AFC standings, obviously the heart of the 2 conferences, and why it would be good for them to win this game. On a lot of levels, it would be good for Jack Del Rio to win this game because Tom Coughlin is here coaching against them. Tom Coughlin built this franchise, took them twice as far as they have ever gone to AFC championship games. There's a lot of good feeling here for Tom Coughlin, and Del Rio, under a certain amount of fire this year after 12-4 year last year, be good for him to beat Coughlin.
Second and a long 3, Jones-Drew. And he can just barely get back to the original line. A fabulous 4th-round rookie in Barry Cofield made the tackle.
I should explain this as to, I mean, I don't really understand why Del Rio is under fire because he was 12-4 last year, and it's a total upward graph for this is now his 4th season here in Jacksonville. But there was what some people thought the bungling of switching quarterbacks in that Del Rio himself did not announce it, and it was revealed in other ways. And there's a notion that they are not as good right now as they should be this year. And so people always say, let's look to the head coach.
Well, I spoke to Wayne Weaver, the chairman and CEO of the Jaguars, before the game on the field. He's very happy with what Jack is doing and kind of put that to rest as much as possible as an owner can at this point in the regular season when you're 5-4.
Offense number 18. The 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
Well, when you start out 2-0, you beat Dallas in the first game, and then on Monday night you shut out the Super Bowl champions. You don't know that they're going to start out 2-6. You shut them out. At that point, you're looking at 5-4 after 2-0 start. That feels a little disappointing to people.
I think also you throw in the fact that you've lost to the Houston Texans twice. Somebody.
That's unforgivable.
New coach, but yet they have struggled against them. They've lost in 10 contests against the Houston Texans 6 times. So give Houston some credit for being a better ball club.
After a wide receiver false start by Matt Jones, it's 3rd and 8. A lot tougher to convert. Garrard's throw is caught by Jones. That's the way to atone. And this is really a way to atone for it. By Jones taking it to the 2. For a guy who's struggled with catches, how about 51 yards?
Talking to Steve Walter, the wide receiver coach, before the game about his wide receivers, and Carl Smith, their offensive coordinator, they feel like that Matt Jones has the ability to go inside and snatch the ball, make plays. Most natural ball catcher on this in the entire group of wide receivers, and a terrific runner too. Nice throw by David Garrard, right on the money.
It is a 49-yard catch, officially the longest of Jones' career. 2 yards shy of the longest for the season. Timeout, Jags. Field blocking, got his ankle rolled up on. He's off to the sideline. Was not a charge timeout for Jacksonville. First and goal. They're back in the red zone. They haven't done much in here tonight. Garrard. Jones drew. Wide open path for a touchdown.
Wow. The setup on this, obviously, is Matt Jones with the big catch. And you point to these same things. In the first 5 games, Reggie Williams had 24 catches, 3 in the next 4. In the first 4 games, Matt Jones, 13 catches, 6 in the next 3. If Reggie Williams and Matt Jones are even sort of average wide receivers, Jacksonville is a very good team.
They are.
They've
right.
been bad wide receivers the last few
And if they
games.
get that kind of blocking up front, they can score a lot of touchdowns.
Jaguars do choose to go for 1. It's the correct play here and add the extra point with Scobie. What a block by Brad Meester and Chris Naoli, who's done a good job at the center and right guard spot tonight. I guess that's not a group demonstration.
With a mascot, it should be.
It's okay. Jaguars led 10-3 after the break, and the Giants able to cut into that to make it a 13-10 game late third with a field goal by Scobie, the touchdown by Maurice Jones-Drew, and now Eli, Plex, and the Giants offense, their margin for error is about gone. Down 13 with 12.5 to go. They've only had the ball 13 minutes, 43 seconds tonight. Ward, the return, flag down, he's down at the 20. Ron Winter will check the laundry.
Where the flag is, it's probably going to be offsides on the Jaguars.
Coughlin with the option to tack it on or re-kick it. And we'll go for the reboot here.
Good decision.
Offside. Number 23, the kicking team. The Giants have elected the option to re-kick after a 5-yard penalty.
Sometimes it tends to jump up and bite you, like the guy returning the ball fumbles it.
And another thing, Joe, the kick coverage for Jacksonville has been very good this year. Look at this team, as they have done in their franchise history of a dozen seasons. They have never blown a fourth quarter lead by 13 or more, and right now they lead by 13 points.
Of course, if you played San Diego, that might change.
Yeah, San Diego coming back from 17-point.
Phillip Rivers has just lit it up. Boy, has he played well, and there isn't a better player in football than LaDainian Tomlinson. We talk about him being the best running back in football. He's the best player in football right now.
Tomlinson with 22 touchdowns. He has more touchdowns than 18 of the 32 NFL teams at this point. Isn't that amazing?
Seems like he got them all in the last 2 weeks also.
He sure did. Hey, Joe, just a point here about them taking this flag and trying to improve. Jaguars' opponents have had the longest field to go. 27.7 has been the average drive start, so they are a very good kick-off and kick-cover team. Scobie has the big leg with a lot of touchbacks into a slight breeze. Coughlin hoping that that works in his favor here.
Well, the last one was going to start at the 20, so you have to figure Coughlin wants to create some kind of an offense with his special teams. It's a good way to do it.
Number to watch is the 25. That's where it would have been with the flag, and there the kickoff with the wind. It's to the 10, so they're past that 25 as it's brought out to the 34-yard line by Ward, so a 9-yard advantage taking the flag.
Jack Del Rio wearing a suit today. He watched coaches wear suits when he was a young guy. There's Paul Brown, famous for wearing a suit. Vince Lombardi, of course, very dapper at that point. Hank Stram, I wouldn't have recognized Hank necessarily. Tom Landry with the fedora looks great. Dan Reeves always wore a suit. Coach recently always wearing a suit. Joe, I like when people wear suits. I don't understand why they're not allowed to wear suits except 2 weeks a year. I like them in suits.
And now Tom Coughlin would not. He told us last night he would not wear a suit.
Del Rio looks great.
First down from the 34. Eli is pressured by Bobby McCray and sacked by the third-year man out of Florida.
Now that was against Kareem McKenzie, number 67. Bobby says, look at me, look at my name.
Thought he was maybe going to do the jump shot there.
He just comes right off the corner hard. I mean, that's just pure speed around the corner. Eli doesn't have a chance, does a nice job of trying to get to his feet, but McCray's just all over.
8-yard loss on the game's first sack. Barber has been very quiet tonight.
It's very difficult to get any kind of a running attack going when you have such long yards on 1st and 10 and there are so many threes and outs. The Giants are right back to having a problem with long yardage and getting no rhythm.
As a team, the Giants have run it just 13 times tonight. You see, Barber has not been an impact guy. Had to stay in a lot to help block, but after he goes over 1,000 yards, he's a blocker here. Shockey makes a big 3rd and 16 catch at the 49-yard line. First down.
They've had 2 big 3rd and extremely long plays. You had Brandon Jacobs on a screenplay get one.
Is there a marker down here?
Yep.
Got a marker. Again, well, Tom Coughlin will tell you the story.
Doesn't look like it's going to help the Giants, the way Coughlin has reacted.
Mini discussion.
There is no foul for unnecessary roughness. Play results in a first down.
I think Coughlin's frustration, he also wants to keep this up-tempo going with the offense.
Shockey getting back behind Ingram, the rookie, goes up, makes the play. You know, you go to the guys that can make plays for you. We saw Plexico Burris with the touchdown. Now it's back to Jeremy Shockey.
After a pickup of 21. Eli swings it to Barber with a flag down. Tiki got a first down if it stands at 37. That's not in a healthy spot usually for your offense.
You're going to be holding against the offense.
Holding. Number 70 offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Veteran Bob Whitfield.
Bob Whitfield, who last week got beat twice by Alex Brown, am I right? Resulting in 2 forced fumbles. And he's the guy. Luke Pettigrew was out, and everybody's wondering how Bob Whitfield, 15 years in the league, probably age 61, 62, how he was going to do. He said he had seen a flaw in his technique, setting up too far front or something like that. He'd be able to correct it, but he didn't see a flaw in holding, apparently.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, Joe, you're the X and O guy. I'm just sort of standing here freezing to death in North Florida.
I got a kick at it listening to you explain it, though. He also wanted to be more patient.
1st and 20. Jacksonville was impatient. Offsides on the defense. Free play, and Eli goes deep for Tim Carter. No flag downfield on Rasheem Mathis for pass interference. And that's what the Giants on Coughlin's out at the 30-yard line, telling the official you're completely wrong.
Ooh.
Offside.
Can you read lips?
Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
He just said you saw it too.
Oh, okay, but how about before that, what he said?
I'm just doing the most current thing. Here's what he wanted the flag on. And no doubt there was contact made.
Joe?
Well, no, you're right. There's contact long before the ball gets there, but we saw it on Matt Jones in the first half. It looks like the officials are deciding to let him play. I mean, you have to understand what the crews will allow. It's part of coaching. It's part of being players. What will the officials let you do? What will they let you get away with?
So we had 1st and 10, then 1st and 20 after the Giant flag, and now 1st and 15 after the Jag flag. Manning Shockey. 4th catch, 49-yard line, and gain of 5.
What you do is you keep working the ball to Jeremy Shockey. He'll work for you. He'll get someplace where you can get him the ball. And then you take the big shot to Plexico. And, of course, Tim Carter, we saw him try and get it to him the last time.
Carter is the speed stretch the field guy. Well, the blitz for Scott Starks was there to pressure the quarterback, but Starks and Meyer stopped the run.
It's almost like Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator, is in the huddle figuring out what Eli Manning is going to call, because he has called blitzes with Starks at the most ideal times all night tonight.
3rd and 11. Mathis came up to change his coverage. Manning throws. It is intercepted. Clint Ingram nearly lost the handle, able to get it. The pass intended for Burris, and Manning has been picked off for the second time tonight. Giants in mega trouble. Down 13. Giants offensive sideline, the picture of frustration all night.
But the Jaguars are total defense number 4, scoring defense number 3. So the people that they're good stepped in are very good people.
Good. Clint Ingram being one of them.
The rookie out of Oklahoma with the interception. Garrard on play action from the 36. They go and throw it. And they get 14 first down yards with Cortez Hankton, 4th catch of the season.
Eli Manning is spending a lot of time working the field. Clint Ingram drops right back, right in the path of Plexico Burris. Watch Eli's eyes. Looks down the field. Now he looks out to the left. Now he comes back, and he's looking where he wants to throw the football. You're just amazed that he doesn't see Clint Ingram standing right in front of him.
And the numbers are very similar. And it's not good.
No, it's not going to get it done. You're not going to win a lot of football games like that.
Struggled statistically against Houston in the prior game, but Tom Coughlin said he managed the game very well. Bad numbers against Tampa Bay the week prior to that, as Fred Taylor bounces for, maybe a half yard on this one. That Tampa game, the wind was so bad, and the notorious Giant Stadium wind was even worse, at times gusting to 50 miles an hour.
They're going to have a problem explaining this one on the heels of last week's as far as management go. And those are the two guys that can make plays for you. Plex can make them, and certainly Jeremy can.
Don't worry, they'll have a lot of time to explain it because every New York outlet will be camped out yelling at them for the next 5 days. Newspapers, radio, television.
Officially a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 in Giants territory. Kiwanuka chasing the first-round pick of the Giants. Can't get to Garrard, who throws it complete, and it is hung on to by Hankton. What a job he's done on this drive. Will Demps knocks him down. First down.
Cortez Hankton has earned the right to be on the field. Jack Del Rio was so put off with his wide receivers, he said, now we're going to open competition. If you compete and make plays, you're going to get some chances to play football. Hankton was one of those guys that he's only had 3 catches coming into this game, but he got a chance to get on the field last week. And now, obviously, with Wilford's situation, when he went down with the ankle, you're not sure, or the lower leg problem, you're not sure when he's going to be able to come back, and you need Hankton to play.
If you're just tuning in, you saw those blue empty seats. You're wondering, why are people not there for the Jaguar-Giant game? Huge game for this team, as Taylor runs it for the 2,000th time in his career and gets to the 30-yard line. The wind chill is 40 degrees right now. It is much colder than it ever is in Jacksonville, and a lot of folks simply couldn't handle it, or the club seat folks at the lower level are inside watching.
It's odd that the visiting team would get the favored weather in a situation like this. You'd think it would benefit the Giants. They're probably used to practicing.
No, the Jaguars are a good cold weather team. They've gone up to Green Bay, played well there. They've gone to Buffalo and played. I was talking to Jack about that on Saturday, and he said, hey, we travel into cold weather. It doesn't bother this team. They're very
But it bothers the fans. Nobody's moving here for cold weather, Joe.
Carried 2001 of Taylor's career. Fred gets a couple of yards before 3rd and 3.5. Here's Susie Colby.
Well, Mike, Eli Manning's just killing himself on the Giants sideline. He's typically so even keel. When he came off after that last interception, that's about the most disgusted and frustrated I think I've ever seen him. You know, he talks about never losing confidence, never being gun shy. Well, that can also work to the defense's advantage. And the Jags told me a lot of young quarterbacks trying to get to the next level, use their arm to get it in there. Eli sees something, he believes it, they believe it too, and so far tonight, advantage Jags.
And as they've come up with 2 interceptions of Manning here tonight. So the Jaguars, who are 9 of 15 converting 3rd downs, that's one of the reasons that they have the ball 36 minutes compared to the Giants just under 17 minutes. Take the clock down, take timeout before 3rd and 3. 6:03 remaining. Jaguars looking to beat the NFC East for the 3rd time this year. Very impressive on Monday Night Football. Remember, of course, they shut out the Steelers in the lowest scoring Monday Night Football game ever, 9-0.
Jack likes when we come to town, Mike.
Suits are about to go 2-0. Nolan and Del Rio.
Mike Nolan, San Francisco, beating Seattle yesterday, getting within a game of the NFC West lead. This is a 3rd and 3. Garrard shedding tacklers, powering forward, shy of the first down. Ball came down when he hit the ground, so we'll have 4th and a yard coming up, chased by Fred Robinson.
If they do go 2-0, everybody's going to want to wear a suit, Joe. All the coaches. I know you say Coughlin doesn't want to wear a suit.
Now Del Rio has a decision to make. He's got 4th down and about a half a yard, or he could have a first down. Now, Garrard fumbled forward.
I thought the decision he was going to make is whether to wear a suit next week.
Oh, no, he'll want to wear it all the time.
That.
It looked like he was down before. I think now that's where the ball is marked.
So here's the measurement, and it does give Garrard the first down.
Now, if you take a look at this play, you have to say, is David Garrard down, and does the ground cause the fumble? If that's the case, the ball shouldn't be advanced to that position.
You're right, Joe. I thought the official on the near side was saying that Garrard was down, and I thought his mark down was at the 25, and a red challenge flag has come out from the Giants and Tom Coughlin, probably for the exact point we're talking about here. He's challenging the spot.
The Giants have challenged the spot of forward progress relative to a first down.
Well, there's no question he's down. I mean, that isn't even close. As a matter of fact, where the ball goes out of bounds, they actually gave him another ball length. So it's going to be 4th down and 1. And now Mike Tice,
without his pencil in his ear.
Well, that's because he's moved the roles a little bit. Susie had mentioned it earlier. Mike Tice had worked with the running backs in the running game. And what Jack Del Rio asked him to do this week was to spend more time with the passing game and getting the guys more focused. Done a good job. This is going to be 4th down, about 2/3 of a yard.
There's Mike, the former Minnesota Vikings coach, who, as he came down here, was given walk-around responsibility for that exact reason. When there's a crisis point, Mike Tice can bring the presence and experience of a head coach to those things. It allows Jack Del Rio to just maintain his regular focus, and it has really worked out well. And credit to Jack Del Rio, too. You have Dave Campo and Tice, former head coaches in the NFL, on your staff. Some guys don't have the security in their job to do it, and it's worked out very well here from all appearances.
It's like being a floor walker at a department store. You go from department to department, troubleshoot a little bit. I just think that without the pencil in his ear, it's just not quite the same thing.
He doesn't look the same, does he?
No, it's a great look for him.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for me and you, but it worked for Tice.
That's not a good look for Tiki, to be sitting down, not having had a lot of work.
Well, gentlemen, Thanksgiving weekend brings great football action, and we will wrap it up on Monday night with the Packers and Seahawks. Matt Hasselbeck expected to play. Sean Alexander's second game from his injury. Brett Favre goes for a consecutive start, number 252. Of course, he got knocked out in the shutout loss to the Patriots yesterday, but the early report from Green Bay today was that the elbow injury should not keep Favre out of the game. And, of course, that would mean going up against his old coach, Mike Holmgren, 8:30 Eastern, next Monday night from Seattle, where it is still raining.
It was raining last time we left 2 weeks ago.
And those folks have just been inundated with record rainfall for the month, and more is expected throughout the week.
That's okay. Tony's coming. It'll stop.
Giants challenge the spot, and Ron Winter will tell us what he saw under the hood.
After review, the forward progress spot is at the 25-yard line, short of the line to gain. That makes it 4th down. New York is not charged with a timeout. This is the second successful challenge for the Giants. Therefore, they have one extra challenge.
That's right. Once you have your limit is 2, unless they both succeed, then you
get
an
the
extra
bonus.
one. Exactly.
I want to see where they spot this ball.
Well, Del Rio's upset because the Giants, as the ball was spotted at the 25, watch the ball. Going to move it over to the 26-yard line, and the Jaguar player takes it. No, it's up here at the 25-yard line.
This has turned into the longest yard.
Well,
Literally.
Good job. Well, I'll tell you, last night that was a correctly called delay of game penalty. It was within the process of the clock running, but in the wrap-up of that Denver-San Diego game. So the ball is correctly spotted at the 25.
Is charged with a timeout, a requested team timeout.
Okay. There it is.
They're first.
He's a little bit ahead of the 25-yard line. That's where the ball is when he hits the ground. So they have it just a little bit ahead of the 25. Now that each player has had an opportunity to move the ball.
Well, I expect somebody to walk up to it and sort of kick it from behind, see if you can sneak it back 2 or 3 yards.
Guys have done it. I mean, oh yeah, you're coming to the, when you break the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, defense, the ball, they just tap it a little bit. Oh yeah, they tap it.
So it is 4th and inches. The Giants took timeout. The Jaguars offense stays on the field. And apparently will go for it here with 5:44 to go unless they just try to bring the Giants offside.
You've got big David Garrard.
Oh, they rocked in the stance. Kyle Brady rocked in his stance, and now it's going to be a 48-yard field goal attempt.
To me, if you're going to go...
False start. Offense
Shockey
number 80.
can do it all.
5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Shockey can catch the ball and ref the game.
Does it all. If you're going to go sneak it, you get up and sneak it. You don't hold your offensive line there too long. And that's exactly what they did. Everybody was in a stance way too long. It's got to be get up under the center, take a heartbeat, and then go.
So Scobie, who has hit all 3 of his field goals tonight, 14 in a row. So the 3rd-year kicker out of Louisiana Tech tries here from 48 yards out of the hold of punter Chris Hansen. Good kicker. He has just done a solid job this year. Comfortably from 48 is Scobie, and the Jaguars lead by 16. Still a 2-possession game. The Giants would need 2 successful 2-point conversions. So why are the Giants in range now of losing their outright lead in the NFC East? Yesterday, Peyton Manning and the Colts suffering their first loss of the season at the hands of the Cowboys. That take back by Kevin Burnett to end that Colts possession there. 21-14, Dallas beating Indianapolis. So Dallas with Tampa Bay coming in for Thanksgiving, 6-4. The Giants sitting at 6-3 and 6-4 if they lose this.
I'll tell you this, the Giants travel well. There are a lot of fans in our hotel.
Yep.
They were crestfallen late yesterday afternoon when Dallas won that game. Every one of those people, the great fear in the back of their minds is Bill Parcells. They've watched Parcells win with them, and they think that Parcells and Tony Romo, who looks like a Pro Bowl quarterback in the 4 games
I think
that
he's the
played.
best in the NFC right now.
And when he went in for Drew Bledsoe, you said don't even put him in at that moment. Since then, he's been great.
At that moment, I didn't agree, but when he did, I said he's going to be his from now on out.
And these Giant fans, they're afraid of the Cowboys. They're afraid of them.
Well, the Giants are beat up.
They have a game in 2 weeks, do they not?
2 weeks.
At the Meadowlands.
The Cowboys play the Buccaneers on Thanksgiving. The Giants go to Tennessee next week. And then Dallas comes in. That game, Giant fans, if you have tickets, that has been moved to a 4:15 New York Times start. Giants not done yet here as the return to the 40-yard line is taken by Derek Ward.
Now, so well we remember what Eli Manning did against the Philadelphia Eagles in a very short period of time. Plexico Burress was a big, big part of what he did in that game coming back.
You got him doing that right here?
No.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that he's capable. He has the ability to do that.
Just want to make sure if you have him doing it here.
Tim Carter and David Tyree join Plex Burress as the wide receivers. Shockey, the tight end. To Shockey. Rasheem Mathis gave him a shot. Shockey fighting forward to gain 8. Clint Ingram combining on the tackle.
Gosh, he plays hard. He practices hard. He plays hard.
Screams loud.
Gets angry.
Yells at everybody all the time.
All the time.
Needs to have his words interpreted by Tiki Barber before Eli hears them. Filtered.
2nd and 1. First down catch by Carter out of Auburn. 2nd-round pick in 02.
First down. What the Giants have to be careful of, they've got a little bit of rhythm going now. Don't have something stupid happen. Don't commit a holding penalty. Don't jump offside.
Jaguars bring a half dozen. They're picked up. Shockey's got room to run. Good downfield block by Carter. Got Shockey an extra 9. He's out of bounds at the 26. The Giants are still very much in it here, a gain of 17.
Giant fans are sitting home right now, and they're saying to themselves, all right, why do you have to wait until the last 5 minutes of a game and spread everything out and throw the ball around? What is it with Eli that he gets into this situation, and now he looks like an all-pro? But he plays for 55 minutes, and
they're asking themselves, why doesn't he go to Shockey earlier in the game? First quarter.
First half. 8 catches in the first half in 9 games.
Shockey out, Vasantoshenko in at tight end as Jeremy gets a breather. From the 26 against a 4-man rush. Manning throws complete to Carter, who put it on the ground. And Sensabaugh comes away with it. Jaguar ball. Scott Starks ripped it free.
That's the disgust from Coughlin right there, because they had it looked like they were going in. They're having a good drive.
4 minutes to go. You're gonna be down by 8, maybe.
Stop them, get one more kick, get it back.
Makes the play, no question. Ball gets knocked out from behind. Nice play. Scott Starks taps it away.
And is he playing because Toomer is out?
Yeah, Tim Carter, yeah.
Right. It didn't even look like it was knocked out. It looked like it just popped out.
I think Starks popped it out from behind.
Sure did. Yep. And, of course, the Giants' frustration continuing with Sonaris Moss, their second-round pick of 2006, who's had that quad injury and has played only 1 game this year. And Shockey came out there for that play. And
Giants are challenged for ruling on the field if the pass is complete and a fumble.
Shockey, not exactly a poker-faced guy. Like you wouldn't want to give him money and say, play this hand for me, would you?
Yeah, well, if he had the cards, he'd let you know.
Just check to see if there's anything here.
There's the catch. Turns around, tucks it away, starts to run. Ball comes out, and the ball just flips out.
Wasn't knocked out.
There's another look from behind. Catches it. Tucks it. See, it gets knocked out by Stark.
Yes, it does.
You wouldn't believe me, would you?
Well, from the other angle, it just looked like it popped out. But you're right, and Mike's right. Mike's been too good not to say I'm right. I appreciate that.
No. There's not much to challenge here. It's pretty obvious. But Tom Coughlin has another challenge.
But it's a desperate challenge. It is a hopeful, desperate challenge.
It's the one
it's late in the game. And he's 1-2, and he figures maybe I'm hot. I'll take a shot at this one.
You know, guys, I'm seeing Tom Coughlin over there in this stadium that really he helped make this franchise. And you see Tom Coughlin, you hear about his rules, you hear about Coughlin's standard time, which means be 5 minutes early, wear your business suits, all that stuff. What you don't hear about Tom Coughlin is the kind of person he is. When he was the coach at Boston College, Jay McGillis was a sophomore safety diagnosed with leukemia. That's November of 1991. Coughlin started the J Fund to help all the costs that come up with it. Boy, what a job he's done with that.
Review, the ruling on the field stands.
So the Jaguars will retain the ball at the 5.
It's Jacksonville's ball on the 7-yard line. New York is charged with a timeout. Their second.
So it's Jacksonville ball. Here is the J Fund. That's Jay McGillis, the sophomore safety at Boston College. So this fund, which really Tom helped establish down here in Jacksonville, and it has stayed in Jacksonville, even though he's gone up to New York, and coaches had help from Tony Baselli and Mark Brunell, those foundation players from the Jaguars. They've raised over $1.5 million, and they do everything for families whose kids are diagnosed with cancer. And they help with car payments, mortgage payments, even funerals. Because when your kid's diagnosed with cancer, your life stops. You get out of work. And this J Fund has done so many good things in this area and branching to New York now in Coughlin's 3rd year up there. Taylor the carry for a yard. You just don't see that side of Tom Coughlin. And when he came in the room for our meeting last night, the energy and passion that Tom Coughlin shows in anger on the sideline was shown in heart and warmth with what he's done and what the J Fund means to not just Tom, but his entire family.
I have to say that I had only seen Coughlin and only heard about him as, you know, a very tough guy. Some ex-players would say a dictatorial guy, a guy you don't want to be around. And to see him light up when talking about this particular charity that he is clearly intimately involved with, it's a side I hadn't seen before at all.
And
very impressive.
To hear on the other side of him say, you know, I like to make everybody uncomfortable. but yet he looked so comfortable talking about this passion of helping people.
Taylor runs. Effort to bring him down by Frank Walker was unsuccessful. He's brought down the 10-yard line. Coughlin's going to use a timeout here as the Giants are running down with timeouts. You know, what Coughlin did here, guys, in Jacksonville was truly amazing. He was hired a year and a half before. He worked in a rickety old trailer outside this stadium before it was built. Drafted David Garrard, as you know, in his last year in the draft. And this Jacksonville franchise did amazing things. I mean, they made the playoffs in the second year. They had a Morton Anderson missed field goal to get to the playoffs. And then with Wayne Weaver as the owner and Coughlin as the coach in his second year, they beat Jim Kelly in Buffalo, first road team to win a playoff game in Rich Stadium. They beat John Elway in Denver, got to the AFC title game, and lost to his mentor, Bill Parcells. And this is the entire resume of Tom Coughlin as the Jaguars head coach, getting to the AFC Championship game twice, losing not just to Parcells and the Patriots, but also to Steve McNair and Jeff Fisher of the Tennessee Titans.
When you talk about Coughlin's standard time, and you asked him a question about that yesterday, you should talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we talk about he's always 5 minutes early. For if you play for Tom Coughlin, if you're less than 5 minutes early, you're considered late. So we asked him, is Coughlin's standard time, all clocks set 5 minutes ahead? Does that apply at home? He said, no. I'm the assistant coach there. I don't make the rules at home. It's his wife, and they celebrate New Year's Eve at midnight, just like all of us. They throw here on third down, and it's incomplete. Wow, with 3:32 left, 26-10. They throw down the middle.
Almost picked. You wouldn't think they'd call that play, would you?
No, I would not.
You wouldn't think so.
And I wouldn't think you'd throw it in that particular situation. I wouldn't throw it in the middle of the football field, out to the side where I had a chance to put it someplace where no one could get it.
Instead of right in the middle,
Instead
where
of right in the
three
middle, where
guys
you've
can
got
pick it off and run it back in.
Two safeties to run in.
Can Chad Morton make something happen as the Giants try to return the Chris Hansen punt, which is 45 yards and fair, caught by Morton at the 45. Got an email, Tony?
I hope so.
Tony, ESPN.com. Hey, how was the Tomcat wedding? Who was your date, and what did you wear? There was the Tom Cruise nuptials in Italy. Yes.
I didn't actually get in because I'd called Nicole Kidman, wondered if she would want to go with me. So
unable to attend.
Yeah,
said no, right?
Yeah, that's a great high society wedding. I don't know why they have to have it in Italy and in the middle of the night or whenever they had it, but it's great to see two young kids strike out into a hard world, don't you think?
I'm a little disappointed when I had a chance to visit with him. He didn't invite me.
And Tom
was busy, actually.
You were sitting next to Tom at the opening night in Washington, right?
We were pals, right? Met he and Katie down there. Nice guy. Yeah, we're pals now. Yeah. Good buddy.
That he and Katie.
Just like you and Jay-Z.
Yeah. Manning first down. Giants need to make it happen, and in a hurry. Burris with the catch, gain of 16, and ruled inbounds, so the clock rolled.
I was going to ask JC to name his 5 favorite Beatles songs, but I just didn't think we could strike up a conversation.
Well, hey, the Giants, they can put some points up right here inside the next 2 minutes. They're going to make Jack Del Rio's life a little more miserable.
Coughlin just told the official, you don't know the rules. He wanted it stopped. Manning is blitzed, throws it away, nobody there. They'll go back to make sure Eli's out of the tackle box.
What I like about you, Joe, you're so optimistic about what the Giants can do. Another email here. What does this one say, Mike?
Tony, it says, is it true that next year the first round of Dancing with the Stars will involve you performing your world-famous penguin dance?
The penguin dance would be fabulous. I'm not even on camera to do the penguin dance. That would be fabulous. You're on camera. Like that. Did you notice that the James Bond movie got beat this weekend by the animated penguin movie?
Whoa, time out. Time out. Do that again. Okay.
Penguin dance. You can do it. You know what, Joe? You can do it at home. In the privacy of your own home, you too can learn the penguin dance.
I'm going to practice and get it ready for next week.
2nd and 10, safety blitz picked up. David Tyree catches it 3 yards shy of the first down. I beg your pardon, 2:40 to go.
Well, you look at the job that this Jacksonville defense has done, not just in this game, but since Jack Del Rio's gotten here. He's brought his personality and just imprinted it on this football team. It's about defense. It starts there.
3rd down, completion to Shockey for the first down to the 19-yard line with 2:20 to go.
You know, the truth of this is that while the Giants want to win this game, Jacksonville truly needs to win this game. I mean, the Giants' position is made a little bit more precarious, but Jacksonville would be in terrible trouble in no man's land at 5-5.
The Giants will have lost to Chicago, lost to Jacksonville, and then get the Dallas Cowboys after they get 10 days of rest.
But they're in a conference where everybody seems to be falling down around them. They'll still be 6-4. They will still be on top of their own particular division with the tiebreaker over Dallas at least.
And now, Tiki may have been able to hold the ball. May be able to hold the ball running with it, but it looks like catching the football. That's the second one that's gone through his hands tonight. It has been an issue for him.
Yeah, by virtue of the thumb injury suffered last week, very early in the game. Last play before the 2-minute warning. Burst to the 18-yard line. A little short one there. You can always run something in the middle of the field when you're near the 2-minute warning. It's the only timeout you had left there. Inside of 2. Jaguars by 16. From here with our entire group, Scott Van Pelt, Neil Everett, anchor in the studio. NFC pretenders and contenders. Sean Salisbury doing the stock report for the conference. And we'll start the Notre Dame USC build-up. Another huge college football
Go
game.
Irish.
Saturday on ABC.
Can't believe
I didn't go to USC, but I'll say fight on for a balance. It's third down here for the Giants. Out of timeouts, needing to score and get 2 twos. Manning, high for Shockey, incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
Bad night for Eli Manning. Second bad game against a good team in a row, right, Joe? Against Chicago, against Jacksonville. Second bad one.
He's just not been comfortable in the pocket. Now Shockey's open. He just fires that one up high. It seems like he and his receivers have not been on the same page. Plexico started in on a quick post earlier, didn't quite get there. Seen him overthrow. He had a stretch of about 6 throws in the third quarter where he really looked like he was getting a rhythm back. And that's it, though.
Those numbers look better with 10 of 14 in the fourth quarter. Fourth down, a must-make for the Giants. Manning to the end zone. Incomplete. No flag comes down. The Jaguars will take over. So what does this all mean? As Jacksonville's defense has done another fabulous job here at home, limiting the Giants to 10 points. They'll improve their record to 6-4, and they will be tied with Kansas City for that 6th best record to this point in the AFC, looking at the wild card situation. Those two teams play on the last day of the year, December 31st, at Arrowhead in KC. So Jacksonville and Kansas City will battle it out with the Jets and Cincinnati not helped by this. And on the flip side of this, guys, for the Giants, I'll tell you who's happy tonight, in addition to the Dallas Cowboys, the Chicago Bears. With 6 weeks left, and Detroit, Green Bay, and Tampa Bay, and Minnesota still on the schedule, the Chicago Bears have a 3-game lead on the entire NFC. The Giants, the Saints, the Seahawks, the Panthers, and the Cowboys are all 6-4, while Chicago's 9-1.
They can send out invitations to those home playoff games right now. They can have them engraved, send them out. Everybody will be happy.
Right now you mail them, and what happens is, go ahead, Mike.
I just wanted to clean up something. Tiki Barber on his last carry was officially credited with a loss of yardage. He was at 1,000 for a brief second. He's actually backwards now. He's at 998, so he's not at 1,000. He will not catch Larry Johnson, who leads the NFL with 1,045. But, Tony, he will lead the Giants in rushing for an NFL record 74th consecutive game, even though he only had 27 rushing yards tonight.
Now, that's an amazing thing that you, because it shows you're durable. There's Garrard. He's the winner. And what he told us the other day, I don't have to be great. I just have to accumulate wins. That's how you judge a quarterback, by the accumulation of wins. Can I lead my team to the playoffs? If this is any indication, yes, he can.
He played a really solid football game. Ran with the ball, did the things that he does very well. Run with the ball, get outside, throw from the pocket very accurately. I mean, to me, David Garrard really played well tonight.
And Jack Del Rio.
Big win for Jack Del Rio over Tom Coughlin. 2-0 for the Suits. Everybody's going to want to wear one next week. Everybody.
They'll use up one of the 2 they'll have.
Except maybe Bill Belichick. He may not.
Maybe you can buy one from him.
Remember, SportsCenter is all the post-game reaction from here. You'll hear from all the key people. And NFL primetime right after SportsCenter. The full wrap-up of this week in the NFL. Jacksonville wins 26-10. Have a very happy, enjoyable Thanksgiving with your loved ones. We'll see you next week.